curling fans, and welcome back inside the Bell Alliance Center here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, for this men's Tier 2 final here at the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside three-time world champion Brent Lang for this game between Magnus Ramsfjell and Rylan Kleiter. And Brent, the Tier 2, we talked about this yesterday and all through the week, really. A special event here at the Slams only happens one time a year. The winner of this game gets a berth in the WFG Masters in January. Just tell the fans how crucial this game is for these two teams.
Yeah, this is it's not quite as big as, an Olympic trials final, but the prize is similar. The first prize is big, getting to go to the Slam, and they're getting some funding to go to the Slam, no entry fee, and second prize is small. So it's and getting into these events, especially for a team like Kleiter. I know Ramsfjell's been in and out of the Slams and had some success in Slams, so it's strange for me. I was surprised to see him in the Tier 2, but here he is and trying to earn his way back to the next one. But all these young teams like a Kleiter, that's where they want to be. They put in the time and effort to be in the Slams on the top stage, trying to continue to climb the ladder, and this would go a long way points-wise too, and then an opportunity to get into the main field at the Masters. Who doesn't want to play in the Masters?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I've been trying to get there my whole life in many different respects, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Rylan Kleiter has played in one Slam before, back when he was a junior. He had a great run in Saskatchewan, won the Saskatchewan Juniors 4 times. The 2019 Canadian Open was in Saskatchewan, so he was given a sponsor's exemption. That was a triple knockout event. He went bang, 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 and that was 5 years ago. Since then, he's never been in another Tier 1 Slam. So as you said, this game may be even more crucial for him. These two teams are ranked 21 and 22 in the world, so they're as evenly matched as you can get. And they're still 5 spots out of getting into the Slams normally. So, it's no guarantee that if you lose this game, you're still going to win enough points to get into the Slams. Like, this is the big time for sure.
Yeah, no time to waste. I ran into Coach Dean Kleiter, Rylan's dad, and a longtime competitor out of Saskatchewan as well. For all you old guys like myself who have played against Dean throughout the years, and I had the pleasure of coaching against Dean last year. These guys made it all the way to the Saskatchewan Tankard final, where they played Team McEwen, and fortunately for Team McEwen and for me, the guys came out on top. But Rylan played a great game and a great week, and they're just getting better and better, and I think they're like sponges from what I understand. Anything they can do to get better, they're willing to do, and that's what it takes, so it's great to see that.
Yeah, and I think with the Kleiter team specifically, it's been a case of not only wanting to get better, but also building that team chemistry. Rylan, the third Joshua Mattern, and the lead, Trevor Johnson, have played together for over a decade, very familiar with each other, so that always helps you build that familiarity. And adding Matthew Hall to the mix, a former world junior champion, I do think it's sort of accelerated their game a little bit. As you said, made it all the way to the Saskatchewan Tankard final last year. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. I guess we should meet the teams, Brent, before we get this game going, as they're taking their last practice slides here before we get underway.
Can we call Matt Hall Matthew Pinball Hall? Because he bounces around to teams. If I was looking for a sales guy, though, I think I'd hire him, because obviously he's good at selling himself. He's landed on some pretty solid teams in some pretty odd geographic locations, with Tardy in BC and then ends up in Saskatchewan. He's an Ontario boy.
Yep.
So, good salesman.
Yeah, he's definitely not afraid to move around to find the best squad, and he's been a good fit on this Saskatoon team. And I know, yeah, you're right, does live in Ontario, but I believe during the curling season spends most of his time in Saskatoon practicing with the guys and living there. So Trevor Johnson is going to get things underway as the...
They have not practiced yet.
Okay, so that's what it was. We were kind of wondering what the practice time was about, and so they're practicing right now.
Oh, the pressure. We just got to talk for 16 minutes. So
No.
Tell me a story.
Well, they did all the introductions, they did everything, and now it does look like both teams are practicing.
We need that couch back.
Yeah, get us the couch here, boys. This is crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen... we both said the practice time was up on the board, but then we were like, well, there's simply no way that they haven't practiced already, because they did all the introductions for Sportsnet and everything. And I guess they haven't practiced yet.
For the first time this week, we were incorrect.
Only the first. There's got to be a first time for everything, I think they say. I was kind of like, this is weird. They're leaving the music on while the game is starting.
Oh, well, the curling group's changing everything. So there has always been chatter about that. Do you remember the Continental Cup where the idea for the mixed doubles came in that everybody had to shoot at the same time, like every stone of every end, so that we could rock the tunes in between shots, and if you threw outside this 30-second window, your rock came off, and we tested that on a little network called TSN.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Really, really poorly.
People didn't like it?
One draw, and then they canceled it for the rest of the week. I was unfortunate enough to play in that draw, and it was madness.
It's always good when the feedback is so overwhelming that you just change it immediately. It wasn't like, well, maybe we give this a second try, fellas,
Right?
They just said, no, we're done with that. So yeah, it didn't get the crowd more pumped, didn't get you more excited.
Got us really confused. Yeah, I think we were playing against Alina and Sven, who beat us, and they even had a rock or two pulled and still beat us.
Oh, that's good.
But it was an interesting experience. Usually you try that stuff in the darkness of a curling club or something first, or maybe a round robin of a slam or something, but with mixed doubles, there wasn't at that point a ton of places to try it, so we just went for it.
Yeah, why not?
No, we know why not now.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Matt Hall, we should be calling him when I'm saying I know nothing about stats, because he is a stats guy. I think he still sets odds for
he does, yeah,
for Coolbet, right?
Yeah.
So a mathematician in every sense. So we could just be texting him when we're asking what are the,
we should be,
what's this, what's that.
Help us out here, Matt. We need it. Very against it. Really unhappy that I even made the suggestion.
Yeah, well, there was never a CIAUs, right? It just went to provincials, like at Laurier. It just went to OUA's, Ontario University Championships, and Johnny Moe and I were kind of player coaches, and begging for funding from the school every year, and we usually could get them to buy us 4 or 5 sweaters.
Nice.
So we could wear those on the ice.
Yep.
But it was completely different than it is today. Now it's another training ground for another developmental ground. Kind of, it bridges a little bit of juniors to men's and ladies, but I almost wish there was the juniors stopped when you went to university, and that could be maybe the in-between league.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's not a bad suggestion for sure, because you do end up with a lot of these curlers. They have their junior team and their university team is totally separate from that. And that's not everybody. The University of Alberta is a great example.
Yeah, that's different.
They play together all year. That's their junior team, their university team, the whole shebang. But yeah, often in Ontario, often in Ontario you see that where they have a university team and then they have a separate junior team. So
inevitably there's overlap and problems with that, right? I remember Craig Sallow almost got cut from his university team because the coach wanted him to commit first and foremost to his Western team, and he was like, I don't think I can do that. I mean, we're reigning world junior champs, and I think we're going to try and do that again.
Yeah.
And at that time we were competing in men's and having some success in men's too, so I don't think...
That wasn't the priority for him.
It wasn't.
No.
Maybe he was crazy, but we supported him in that decision.
Yeah, we would have had a pretty decent team, because this would have been back in probably 04, 05. So the university championships back then weren't what they are now. And so at the time there was no Canada West championship. There is now. You got to win the Canada West or finish in the top X number of teams in the Canada West to get to the Nationals. But back then, there weren't enough Western schools that were entering it. It was mostly OUA schools and out east in the Maritimes, where you'd have playoffs. And so we knew that we could get to the Nationals just by signing up. And
nice.
I know, we went to UBC and we did the classic curling thing of saying, like, look, we don't want any money. We don't need anything from you. We don't need a coach. We don't need a person. We don't need money. You just need to sign this form that says yes, we can go. And they acted like I had damaged their property or something. It was a very stern no. I was told that they only review their athletic program once every 5 years, and the athletic program had just been reviewed the year previous. So they said, well, if you're still here in 4 years, you figure it out. And I said, well,
a few classes and stick around.
I said, I'm going to try to not be here in 4 years if I can help it. But all of this is to say that finally there is actually a UBC team. It took... So I started in probably 2004. I started trying to get a UBC team. It took 20 years, but they finally have a UBC team this year. So maybe it's time for me to go back. I mean, I don't even live in BC anymore.
No. But the Dinos have a program in Calgary.
That's true.
Right? Brett and Jocelyn.
Brett and Jess
are somehow involved in that, and I'm not sure of the total workings, but I know they
Laney Peters is involved as well. Yeah.
And there are some sponsorships available for curling through some universities.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no question. So yeah, maybe I got to give Joss a call. Maybe that team could use an injection of old energy,
a cooked lead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How's your lead working out? Is there a chance I'm better than him? I'm ready for the showdown at the Glencoe, me versus the other lead. Let's play one-on-one for the spot. I don't care. That would involve me going back to school, though, which I don't know.
That's the tougher part.
That's the tougher part, no question.
still have a championship?
They have a championship, but then I don't know if they handpick the representative or not. I know that Magnus Ramsfjell has won 4 of them.
Yeah, he's been around a lot.
He's been around. I mean, he's only 27, but he's done really well. He actually upset Ulsrud in 2019. That was his first win, and he would only been 22 at that time. And then he's won 3 more since then. But yeah, he lost to Nedregotten last year in the Norwegian Championship, but then did still go to the Worlds. So it does sound like they still, Ramsfjell came 3rd last year at the Worlds. And you know Magnus Nedregotten,
great mixed
doubles
player.
player.
He's been around from day one with mixed doubles, really.
Yeah, so he had won the Norwegian Championship last year, but they did send Ramsfjell to the Worlds in 2024. So I think you're right. I think there is a championship, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to the Worlds.
And a lot of that has to do with protecting the program in general, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't have a ton of depth like a Scotland or Scotland still handpicks too, but Canada is probably the only one where the federation has 0 input, I would think. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to protect the points. And not that Nedregotten, he would have been fine. He would have done well, but you got to send your best team if you can when you're the less deep curling nations, because if you have a poor showing one year, you may find yourself on the inside looking out of the Olympics or the next World Championship, find yourself having to qualify, and that's not super comfortable.
No.
It's also expensive. You've got to travel to wherever those events are.
Yeah, no, totally. And Nedregotten's team has a few names you may recognize. Stefan Wallstad.
Oh, yeah.
Howard Vad Pedersen and Torger Nergard were his team that won. Yeah.
Well, no wonder they won.
Yeah,
they brought in the veterans.
Yeah. A veteran squad. So I'm going to go ahead and guess they probably didn't play a ton of men's events on tour.
They probably won and just said, don't you dare send us to
We don't want to go. We don't want to go. We just wanted a nice trip to Oslo to play in the
we're just looking for a weekend away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, our bad. We thought we were washed. So
right? Wallstad made it all the way to a slam final at one point, if I remember correctly. Those guys had a good run for a couple of years there, and I think they just kind of stopped playing.
Right. Yeah, Norway is one of those countries where, like you said, the depth maybe not super good, but their top team is always good.
Yeah, and they're always tall, too. Everybody's tall to me, but you look at these towers, man. They're not going to get outswept. You got to hope for them to oversweep a few, because they're not going to leave many short.
No, that's for sure.
So I'm not sure that there won't be a draw of the button in the Tier 1 final, because Gushu, who had to win 3 games yesterday, and admittedly he was tired last night, 3 close games after kind of a light skate each day with just 1 game, and then all of a sudden 3 games in a day.
Well, and I was saying, for Brad, I was saying this yesterday when we were on the couch, but how many times in the last 5 years has Brad played 3 games in a day? He always qualifies out of A.
Yeah, you can't do it in A. So other than the only time he would do it would be in a tour spiel when the quarters, the semis, and the finals are on the Sunday.
Yeah, totally.
That's getting less and less common.
Usually they do the quarters on the Sunday night, and then you do the semis and finals on Monday. So, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's why I was thinking about, certainly at the Brier, you never play 3 games in a day. You certainly never do it at the Slams either. And Brad doesn't play that much on tour either anymore. He kind of sticks to the Slams and, your points bets and your pan cons and things of that nature.
I've heard rumors he's playing a little bit extra this year, maybe a spiel or 2 extra, because he's hearing rumblings of a St. John's Brier in 2026. And if he's not Team Canada, which he won't win it forever. I mean, I don't think he's done yet, but he won't win it forever. And it's almost like they're setting up a movie script, though, if he wanted to retire after a St. John's Brier. But I think it's hard to retire when you keep winning.
Yeah,
that's got to be tough. I mean, Kevin Martin won the Players and hung him up anyway, but that was the storybook. But we'll see. Everybody has an opinion on who should retire, when they should retire.
Really, it can only be, you can be the only person that can make the choice.
A little higher.
I like it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Line's good. Bring to the room, looks good.
So no draw of the button in our game either, and I'm pretty sure Kleiter qualified A, so Ramsfjell may have not.
Yeah,
So I would expect.
Ramsfjell did not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Kleiter will have the hammer in the first end. I wonder where the betting odds are. I know where the rankings are, but the Norwegians definitely more experienced on this in this atmosphere at this level in
For sure.
these events on this ice.
Kleiter is one ranking spot ahead of the Norwegians. 21 for Kleiter, 22 for Ramsfjell. So we're finally ready to
We
get
got a
underway,
game.
Brent. We did it.
That was
We
impressive.
successfully did a 17-minute episode of a university curling podcast.
Of whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly. And now here we are. So it will be Gauta Nepstad getting things going here for Team Ramsfjell.
We didn't even have to get into, Eigel and Bent, the dads of the second we skip here and their illustrious curling careers. Multiple world champions, Euro champs, like just kind of curling royalty in Norway, really.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, not a ton of great Norwegian teams over the years. Just tend to be one really good team with a lot of longevity.
Dodie Nordby on the ladies. I used to love watching her
Oh
play.
yeah, she was wild, very aggressive player.
Yeah.
Really fun to watch.
Call forward.
So yeah, to answer your question, Brent, Kleiter did come out of the A. They defeated Sam Moybrook in their first game, and then Kyle Waddle in the second, and then they beat Mark Moskatowicz, who is actually right now in the top 16 in the world. So if the slam was about 2 weeks later, Moskatowicz would have been in the Tier 1. So Kleiter beat him, and that's how they qualified. For Ramsfjell, he lost to Marco Hosley in the A, dropped down, and then beat the Ghost Man, Danny Kasper, and Aaron Sluchinski to qualify out of B.
Lots of familiar names there. A few showings at the slams last year for Sluchinski and a great tour year, lots of points. Kerr Drummond retires and they follow to the slams. Kerr's got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, Kerr deciding to play with Thomas Scoffin this year out of the Yukon. Wanted to take not play such a heavy schedule. Sluchinski's really had one of the heavier schedules on tour the last few years. I mean, that's the thing these days, Brent. If you're a team that's 30th or so in the world and you have designs on making the slams, you got to play an awful lot.
You got to chase the points. He plays the mixed doubles too. He's a curler.
No question. So Kerr, has a newborn baby with his wife. Sarah is also a curler, and decided this year, maybe I'll take the old Yukon route, play 2 or 3 events, basically automatically qualify for the Brier, and there you go.
Head to BC, the BC Brier.
Exactly.
Kelowna this year, right?
Yep, it is. Yep, my home province.
Been a while since it's been. I'm going to probably be wrong, but I don't think I've ever played in a Brier in BC, have I?
Well, you're asking me.
No, when were the last Briers in BC?
The last Brier in BC, you probably would have been in because it was in Kamloops, and it was in
18. That was Regina.
So then, you're right. It would have been 14. It would have been the one you missed. Yeah,
I missed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Paulson was there.
Yeah, it was because Cotter, while he's playing with Johnny Moe at the time, they lost the Olympic trials final, and then they lost the Brier final. And I don't know if anyone else has ever done that before, but
don't look too far to your right.
I may or may not have known that.
Yeah, it feels good. It happens. This is a good start here.
Really good start for Ramsfjell without the hammer.
Matthew Pinball Hall. Do you think we can make that stick?
I think he can. It's got a nice rhyme to it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You like pinball? I've never been much of a pinball guy.
Pinball Clemens or the game?
No, the game.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not very good at it. I don't like things I'm not good at.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't like much.
Good shot, Matty.
That's better for Ryland Kleiter. Might have liked to get rid of 2 of the yellows, but still pretty good.
Edmonds in a great spot and no center guards at the moment.
So it'll be Magnus's cousin, Bendik Ramsfjell.
So if the internet hasn't sent us astray, this is Bent's son, correct?
It is, yeah. Easy to remember because it's Bendik and Bent.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then Magnus is Eigel's son. Did you play against them back in the day?
Eigel? No, I think I missed them. I think I'm not quite that old. he was done by 2000 for sure.
Yeah, you don't have a 27-year-old kid, so that's a good way of measuring it.
See in half or saw in half? Sure.
It's going to be a
So
little
that maybe over curled a little bit, Brent. It seems like they can
chase it.
They can chase it, yeah.
In between path. The toughest part of this game probably, I mean, the prize is one thing, and the pressure and the final and then the points. They've not stepped on this ice until today.
Yeah.
They've been next door, and as silly as it sounds, not silly, but as silly as some people might think, the ice can be drastically different.
Just gets by that yellow center guard. Trying to get it out the back, Josh Mattern, and he does. So really nice shot there from Matthew Hall.
So unlike all the Tier 1 teams who are supposed to be better, who would hit the guard there on their first game, we saw that nonstop. Kleiter boys figured it out right away. Went from 2 buried, 2 shots later, 1 buried for the other team.
Yeah, and with hammer. And these guards are staggered, so there's not really an easy shot here for Martin Sessaker, the rare Betooked player out here. Just came from a shift this morning down at the shore.
Does look a little BC-esque, vlogger. He thinks he can make this red bubble, hey?
I think so. Yeah.
Sound interested.
Yeah, I don't think. That was really tough. You had to miss that top yellow, not by much. And yeah, you're right, Brent. I know that it's we don't have the cameras over in the other arena and all of that, so you kind of want the teams out here, and I'm sure they want to be out here with all the fans and everything, but is there ever a thought that you don't move the game over just because of what you were saying, that it's so hard to get adjusted to a new ice surface for one game, and it's such an important game?
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. And as I walked into the arena today, I walked by the Tier 2, and it's not hockey ice yet, but it's close.
It's close. I know.
So I think that's the real reason is, yes, you can have it, but can we get anything back a day early? And this ice is just sitting here. Why don't you just double up?
Right.
But yeah, from a player's perspective, it would be much better to stay over there. But, the fans, I think, is the number one draw. They've been playing in front of, there's been good fans over there too, but this has been sold out basically all week. So the atmosphere in here is pretty cool. They're going to have a hard time getting anybody to look at them while Brad Gushu's throwing, but they're going to hear some noise.
Yeah, there's only stands on one side of the McLaughlin Arena here at the Bell Alliance Center. So we've got Brad Gushu and Bruce Mowat on sheet C, which is the one directly in front of the stands, and then we've got Ryland Kleiter and Magnus Ramsfjell all the way over on sheet A. So yeah, you're right.
Corner. Let's tuck these guys over here.
They're a little tucked in the corner, and when you got Brad Gushu's star kind of shining in front of you, then yeah, you're right. It might only be a case of maybe the 8th end, people give them a little shine, or maybe you see a bunch of granite flying. You go, ooh, what's happening over there?
Yeah.
But
maybe somebody will fall, hopefully not hurt themselves, but that'd be a way to get some attention.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. As Martin Sessaker does make the chase there, so Joshua Mattern will be asked to make it right back.
Could roll right over to the yellow, and nose is good. This is Magnus is going to have to show some trickery, some tomfoolery or something if he's going to get out of this deuce or get an open miss here from Team Kleiter.
Trevor Johnson on this right out of the hand, flirting with this guard here. Can Trevor Johnson get it by? No, he cannot.
No, they said, whoa, got a little bit too aggressive with getting underneath there. And the commentator's curse is alive and well. Man, I got to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, that's tough for Team Kleiter. They were set up for an early 2 there, and kind of an easy 2 as well.
Right. Now, he's probably going to end up playing the same hit and roll on the next one, regardless of where this goes. But
I thought we were put at the hog line.
You can hear Josh Mattern there saying, I thought we were good at the hog line, but also saying I could have given him a little more set. They did jump it out of his hand, but there was a whoa late, so they thought they had it.
Yeah, maybe a little more weight too. Seemed like it was maybe not exactly the weight they wanted by the time it got to the house. Certainly wasn't big takeout weight. So Magnus did flirt with maybe deciding to go around the guard here, but perhaps cooler heads prevailing here, just hitting the open one and lying 3 without the hammer. And I don't think you're going to see Ryland Kleiter get too aggressive here.
I don't see him drawing it. I think this is a good play. make this hit and roll, and then have Magnus have to choose. Do I want to play the short run back, which if I miss, I'm giving up 2, or do I want to make a tough draw not to leave a double? So still a chance here for 2, and I think mission number 1 is you don't want to draw and end up having to first end draw against 4. Nobody wants that. And
no one wants that anyway, and on a new ice surface especially.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about being a touch sticky. There's the Gushu cheers.
Mm-hmm. So same shot as Josh Mattern. I agree with Trevor Johnson. Definitely a little more weight than Josh had. So you see TJ trying to bring this one over. You want to make sure you're sticking around here. That's not bad. Didn't quite get the roll.
Second shot, and going to guarantee himself an open shot here. I don't know if there's room, and you don't want to get too cute with that guard to get under. So just make it go away, and got him forced. The jam, though, I guess you got to pay attention a little bit. That back jam might be second shot. If you hit it half rock high and roll out. He's talking about drawing again, which I like the confidence, but confidence kills too.
How are you wearing your jacket, man?
How are you wearing your jacket? Well, because I'm the one who threw the one that needed swept end-to-end. I didn't have to sweep it.
Yeah, exactly.
The two fellas there standing on the sideboards, Team Kleiter, the 100-meter race of all time.
Yes.
One of the better ones I've seen.
Race of the century, sort of rivaled the Donovan Bailey, Michael Johnson 150-meter at the Skydome.
Ooh, I'm saying Trevor came up lame.
He probably should have.
Should have faked the hamstring.
Should have faked the hammy pull. So final stone here for Magnus Ramsfjell. And no mistake. So Ryland Kleiter will be hitting against 3. Yeah, I'd be hitting this all day. You can roll on either side a little bit. Certainly on the nose gets the job done. But yeah, Josh and Trevor were, I guess, one night, and who knows whether they were in their cups or not, but one night had a debate about who could run the 100-meter faster. So finally had some time off at the points bet to settle that. Josh, taller than Trevor. Trevor, stronger than Josh. I was billing it the length versus strength battle.
Seems accurate.
Yeah, and turns out when it comes to running a race, length wins out because Josh absolutely dusted him. It was not really a contest. So final stone here for Ryland Kleiter, open hit against 3.
Didn't want to steer hard early.
Trevor Johnson picking this up early. This is really light. Oh, this is curling. Oh my goodness.
Oh, enough training for that 100-meter race.
That's where strength pays off, Brent. Trevor Johnson holds that all the way down.
Trevor.
Yeah,
one on a game.
Exactly. One will go up on the board for Ryland Kleiter. Magnus Ramsfjell will have the hammer when we come back.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here. This is the Cornwall Curling Club. This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
And we are back for this Tier 2 final here at the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside Brent Lang for this final. Winner gets a berth in the WFG Masters. Loser goes home. Well, they both get to go home after this.
They're both going home.
For one team, the flight will be a lot more enjoyable. And we have to say, Brent, kind of a good start for Team Ramsfjell. That there was that one miss from Team Kleiter. They were looking set up for 2 and unfortunately racked the guard on Josh Matternstone, and kind of a comfortable force for Magnus Ramsfjell.
Yeah, a couple of turns in that end. Early Team Norway had a 2 buried, and then Matt Hall made a pretty good run back and changed the end. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, not a crazy start for either, but a couple of slightly not scary moments. The scary moment on the last hit for sure. I thought that might take off, but sweeping matters, it turns out.
It does, yeah. It does now. It never did. It never did in our day.
For years, we didn't want it to.
Yeah.
But it's just become a massive part of the game. Too big, I think. Too important in a lot of ways.
Vinyl get there after you play
and I think some players would agree with that. It is a skill, don't get me wrong, and training and all those things, and it's an athletic
Right to it.
feat, but
Right to it.
it still needs to be a shooting game, not just a sweeping game like we had in 2016.
For sure, and I don't think anyone would argue that it's like 2016 now, but yeah, certainly there are teams who would like changes. There's no doubt about that. Having done the Broomgate podcast and talked to a lot of curlers about sweeping specifically, we asked a lot of them the question about how they feel about where sweeping is at right now, and a lot of the top curlers would like there to be maybe a little less of an effect, for sure. Brad Gushue, namely, among them.
Well, yeah, he worked his whole life to be as good a thrower as anybody and control the weight and everything else, and now everybody else's margin for error has gotten bigger. And good start here. Traditional start. Guard, come around, freeze, blow it up.
Yeah, very good.
Flashback.
Oh, there we go, the 2014 players, speaking of that event.
Kmart went out on top. We mentioned that earlier. I think the only guy I know that won his last Grand Slam.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that's true.
Team Jones pulled off the rare Olympic gold Players Championship double.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah, better than it was.
I'm not sure if he's trying to run that into the red when they're sweeping to hold it, and to me it felt like it maybe needed to curl. I guess he's just trying to stick the top one.
Team Kleiter getting a little shine on the big screen here as Sportsnet updates their first end single. That's the other cool part for these teams. Obviously, we have the game in its entirety here on Home Team Live, but you do get the updates on Sportsnet for your family that's maybe watching the Brad Gushue, Bruce Mowat final, which you can also see on Home Team Live, by the way, if you're not in Canada. Game available on Sportsnet Plus and Sportsnet if you are in Canada. Bruce Mowat out to an early 2-0 lead over Brad Gushue.
It's starting to look like Bruce doesn't want to lose this week, and you've been saying that for days. And when I met with Team McEwen after day one, I said, should we just give this to Mowat yet? The way the ice was, the way they throw the rock, they don't have to read as much of the ice, and they don't have to deal with as wide a paths as some other teams, especially for the Gushue team, how they throw it. And if the ice is at all patchy, it just has to be an advantage. One by design, I'm sure. I don't think they did that accidentally. Ooh, great hit and roll there.
Very nice shot from Matt Hall.
Matt Hall came to play.
That's
Run
right.
Backs, hit and rolls. What do you need? Pinball Hall.
I got everything you need. Yeah. Yeah, very nice shot there from Matt Hall. Good shot on his first as well. So once again, things looking a little better for Team Kleiter after Matt Stones. And yeah, you've played in enough of these slams and just curling tournaments in general, Briars, and even just for me, simply World Curling Tour events. It's not always the case, but sometimes there is just a team where, you look across the sheet or you're watching a stream after your game's over, you're at the arena watching the games, and teams just have a feel, that they're just locked in that week. And it just seemed to me like Bruce had that from the start of this week. They've just been dialed in, and they've been really tough to beat, and they haven't been beaten yet here. So
You hate to look at a team and wonder, I'm not sure how we're going to beat those guys.
Yeah.
You love it when you think, I'm not sure how anybody here is going to beat us.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have those weeks too. And we had one at one of our Briars, and I don't remember which one. I think it was 2012. The first like 6 games all went down to extra end or tied up with coming home, and we won every one of them. And you start to feel like it doesn't feel like no matter what we can lose, we're going to find a way. And confidence breeds confidence.
Yeah.
And turns out they were right that year. Had it other years. You already mentioned the trials, lose the Briar final in 2009, 2010, and felt like we couldn't lose that year, but I was wrong that time. We only lost 1 game, and you leave and you didn't win the Briar. That's not very good.
Yeah, no, that's
Cooey.
That's cooey. Yeah, that is cooey. Yeah, sometimes you can win the Briar and you lose 4 games,
right?
Maybe even 5 if you get
Usually
really
that's
lucky.
also cooey.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, to see how many he actually lost in that year. But yeah, you're right. It's probably more than 1.
15-3.
Chance to get one in the pocket here and really close down the scoring area, but need to get it off the red into the yellows. And this looks perfect. Would love to bump that yellow a little bit too, but you can see the problem here. Agnes trying to figure out. I think they might be lying 2, but probably doesn't feel great.
Yeah, one of those. We're not lying 2 for long. Right. Yeah, they're definitely lying 2. I think you're right.
Okay.
There is a double on the yellows though, so he's got to move this around somehow. So it's the first stone for the third Martin Sessaker here. Let's try and move some angles, keep 3 yellows in the house, and I'd be more worried about that one they just threw than this one. I know it's harder, but maybe come down and kind of try and get to that one, even with hack, and spread everything around. Definitely need to move something. We're in for a treat sweeping-wise this game. There's been a lot of it, and nothing's really... These guys have decided we're not going to let anything over curl. He was playing to that one. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Good angle shift, and now it's Rylan Kleiter who's looking at the rings with puzzlement.
Yeah, I think he's onto the right shot, and it's hard.
That gets kind of dicey, I think.
Yeah, it's already dicey, guys.
Yeah, and got some news for you.
Yeah, we're into Diceyville.
Yeah, call this a Yahtzee box because this end is dicey.
Oh.
That's probably the worst joke I've ever made.
Not even written down.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst joke I've ever made.
You didn't have to explain it, so it's not the worst one.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. It made sense.
Thank you.
I'm liking that the best, yeah.
Trying my best out here.
Just tap.
That would be, this is the best shot, I think.
You can easily
The
get there.
angle's more important than losing
Yeah,
it.
like ideally you get to here, right?
Yeah, you get to the 12. So whatever weight that is.
Yeah.
I agree, the angle is more important than losing it, but you really don't want to leave too many yellows around. It's getting late in the end, but this is a very tricky shot. Has to risk hitting the guard, can't be high, can't hit the guard, so process of elimination, he's got to be sitting there thinking, this is just one I got to make. It is nice he's a lefty here. Generally, the in-turn curl's a little bit easier than the out-turn, and he needs a little bit of shape to this one, as Skipper McEwen would say. Sounds like they like it. Doesn't look very hard. I'm not sure he's killing anything. I'm sure he's not killing anything.
Yeah, you're definitely not with that weight, you aren't. I think that's okay.
Yeah, not in a minute.
Yeah, I know.
You change your vote? You didn't submit yet.
I do want to change my vote.
That either right
yeah,
away.
I didn't see that angle, but yeah, if he makes this double, I mean, it might jam maybe, but yeah, it's
makeable to live 4.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to push that back one farther.
We wanted to kind of...
You couldn't though, really.
Yeah, it was a tough shot.
I think an angle is more important than losing it, because if you have a bad angle, it doesn't matter.
Let's see if we can make this one now.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Yep. Now you're in trouble if you're Team Kleiter. Look out.
Did you tell the future? Isn't Yahtzee 5 dice?
Yahtzee is 5 dice. Yep.
They have a couple options.
Okay, another. Not another, but first kind of game ball situation almost.
Is that
Uncomfortable that it came in the second end, and they haven't even really missed a shot.
No.
Like that should be close. Yep.
Sometimes that's maybe when you want to look at strategy, but I don't think they made any crazy calls.
Roll in.
Yeah. 11 here? Yeah.
Over.
So Ryland Kleiter dialing it in here, definitely recognizes what's at stake. Needs to hit and roll. The problem is that it's lined up too, so he kind of needs to hit and roll a little past fully buried.
11-5. 11-5. Hard. 11-5.
This was picked up right out of his hand.
Yeah, right out of the hand. This could be trouble here.
Underthrown it and tight.
Oh boy. Oh
Okay. For a bad miss.
yeah, it's not the
Could have
worst.
been
miss.
worse.
Yeah.
Hard to lie 4 now, I think. Well, not hard, but trickier. At least he killed one. He flashed the rock he was trying to hit. See, the crowd here has been, they are cheering for shots. You got to give them credit. They're cheering for good shots by Mowat, and there's been a lot of those, but there is no question who they're cheering for out here. So just deciding, do we hit the yellow, or do we try and directly hit the red? Directly on the red's probably better, but man, this isn't going to look good from the hack. And rolling right beside that other yellow probably isn't very good either. You might leave a double and roll to the button buried. That's sometimes the challenge when you're lying so many. There's usually a pocket or some kind of trouble shot, but fellas are having a good time out there.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
We're about to score 4.
Martin just telling his skip, I'm the guy who set this up for you. This is fantastic, eh? Don't piss on my artwork.
So first rock here for Magnus Ramsfjell, and a chance to really put the pressure on Ryland Kleiter here.
Sounds made without any sweeping to
Yeah,
me.
sounds good.
You can see how small that hole was.
Yeah, yeah. So it does kick the one yellow out to be 5th shot, but still lying 3. Kleiter might have a saver here.
He didn't try and carve that. I think not really too hard because the hole was staggered, so he couldn't throw it a lot lighter. But
I kind of like this one better when you just saw it. Okay, 11.
same shot. See if Ryland.
That'll be good. I'll give you a better throw.
They've already talked. You know, we didn't hear them, but him and Matt would have been talking about what happened on that last throw, and I don't think Ryland would have
11.
needed a lot to know I was tight, whether it was soft or just straight narrow. But
Kind of roll to the yellow.
Or actually just behind is probably, I mean, if we roll frozen, it's
So
good,
I think, Brent, if he rolls buried,
Okay.
he might be able to get out of it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the other option is to roll right over onto the other one. That would kind of get you. I would consider 2 here getting out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he makes a really good roll, Magnus, I think you can see that red-yellow combo, probably enough to throw like a backline hack, and if this is right behind that yellow, and score 3. Expect him to be close. He saw it on his first one. Plastic in
Can't roll
between
too far.
Oh, that is perfect. Hello.
Wow, really good from Ryland Kleiter. And after all that, maybe are they looking at a steal here? Maybe
They are, yeah.
had to have that roll.
It rolled far enough that red-yellow doesn't really help them anymore. In-turn draw to the button or a trick shot that I don't see. No, it's gone, boys.
Yeah, I think that's the only shot.
Just as hard as the draw. My Norwegian's not great either, it turns out.
No. I would guess if the in-turn draw is just as hard, you try the chase just because it could get you 2.
We're going to see how creative he can be with his out-turn.
Yeah.
See if he can get it. You got to slide a little wide here and get it curling earlier. It's got to come at a different angle because I don't think you can just get straight by and have enough speed to kill this.
Yeah, that. I think the draw is no picnic, Brent. So
No,
I don't mind.
I
this.
like the call. He's not laughing as much anymore. I'm not sure what happened.
So final stone for Magnus Ramsfjell was in control all end, but now facing a potential steal.
Didn't hook it for sure. Gonna go with the, let's see if we can get it carving.
Yeah, Martin Sessaker trying to bring this one over. Sounds close.
Sure does.
Sounds close. Can he get by the top? Oh, just over curls. And so at one point, looking like maybe giving up 3 or 4, Ryland Kleiter makes a phenomenal shot on his last and picks up the steal. They lead 2-0.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Nice shot on your back. Thank you. It's like the one spot we were discussing. That's the only bad spot for us. The only spot. Very well done.
He took a good look at it. I didn't know how he was going to take that joke. It's better than the restaurant lady. Okay.
Pretty true. Tight. Top 4.
Yeah, go in.
Top 4.
Line should be good, line's good, line's good.
I like it.
Line's good. Line's really good here. 14-9.
Well, Brent, Ryland Kleiter must be taking a deep breath right now because that was looking very, very scary. And I'm sure you've been down that road before where your skipper bails you out, but that was quite the shot on his last to save that end for the boys.
Yeah, that was super scary. It looks like 3, 4. Even, I mean, you were happy with giving up 2 and you stole 1, so it's gotta feel like momentum really swung and. Got to build on that. You don't think, we missed one, let's have a sloppy end here. It's like we got away with one there. You know, Ryland, great shot, skipper, and that's why you're throwing last. Huge confidence boost for him, especially after a first shot there that he didn't throw very well.
Okay, it's all you right now.
So I would have been saying in between ends there, like, you know, that's why we pay you the big bucks. But thanks, skipper. Keep that going. We'll set you up a little better. And also, though, you know, boys, we didn't play that bad of an end.
No.
You know, so. Let's stay with it, keep making shots, and see if we can't force him one in the third end and take a pretty good control of this game. Similar for Ramsfjell and the other fellas, it's, hey guys, we played a good end, we made all our shots, and the skip just made an unbelievable shot, and we almost made a miracle shot for a couple, but same thing, keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we don't keep giving up singles.
Line might have been okay if you guys didn't have to pound it. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Remember the old sweeping stat on curling zone, like how much your rocks were swept?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think that's the thing.
Like how many of your rocks had to be
like
swept?
almost like a sweeping percentage came into your shooting. There was like you had a shooting percentage, and then how much your rocks needed to be swept to be made. And,
what's the point of that?
I'm unsure, but I was just thinking, man, they're sweeping everything this game, and that's generally, I think we talked about it earlier in the week, you know, top teams even talk about what is the ideal amount to sweep a stone, how are we trying to throw it, ice it, everything else. I think most people end up with about, 50%. Generally, you don't want to, at least in my experience, you don't want to have to sweep the rock early. And we're seeing that a lot from Team Kleiter so far. But so far, they've been getting away with it. They got the horses, which means this one's going to wreck, right?
Yep, absolutely all over the top. Well, we have talked all week, Brent, the miss has been tight.
For sure.
And this is the first game for these teams on this ice, and it does look like Team Kleiter, I think all teams these days prefer to play the down weight hits, your controls, your boards, your hacks. It also feels to me like Kleiter's a little bit on the lower end of that their hits are maybe a little less weight than we've been used to seeing from the Tier 1 teams on this sheet all week. Yeah. And so I do wonder if that's part of it as well, that we know the misses are tight anyway, and then they're also getting just a little bit down on that soft weight.
Yeah, so far that's definitely the case. And it's impressive, though. You want to see that out of young teams. Young teams so often historically have been afraid of the lighter weight because that's the, generally if you miss throw it, you're not going to make contact more often. If you have more weight, it's a little bit easier, more comfortable to throw at the rock. But if you want to play at the top level, which both of these teams do, they know they got to master that softer weight, sweeping, control the rock. So not a comfortable situation here for Kleiter. I know that's not shot rock, but it's in a really, really good spot there. So just trying to hit in lie 2. I wonder what Magnus will have going on in his mind right now in terms of how are we going to make that top 8 one count? Are we going to get rid of both of these, or are we going to draw again? Neither one of these rocks are going to scare him in terms of steel. Kleiter's going to try and roll under next, but Kushu continues to chase over there.
Yeah, I was going to say the home crowd goes nuts. Bruce Mowat continues to lie too.
Right.
And he's throwing. That was a nice shot by Mark Nichols, but yeah, certainly does look like Bruce Mowat's been mostly in control of that game over there, still leading 2-0. They blanked the second end.
The roof's not caving in yet, so Brad's not winning.
Oh man, I'll remember that game for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So Kent knows this now, and obviously Ryland knows that. Roll under, and then probably Magnus is thinking we're probably going to have Martin just draw around the top 8 one. And I think as much as we're going to lie 2 here, I think it's still probably rather, I think, advantage Ramsfjell team here right now.
Yeah, Josh Mattern trying hard not to set up the double here.
Trying to roll away a little bit now.
Yeah. He rolls away a bit, but I think the double's there.
It's natural.
Yeah. It's maybe a little steeper than you'd like, but it's certainly makeable for Martin Sessaker.
So you just got to pick the right weight when that's the case, because they're a hit and roll right over to it. You just don't want to be able to go across the top.
Just a hair wide, but I thought we could.
Or you just say, I just don't miss these, and I'm just going to throw it as hard as I want and hit it in the exact right spot.
Or that.
That was never my theory.
I never often hit the rocks in the exact right spot. So.
Yeah, some guys, though, like you look at a Mark Kennedy, and it's almost the harder he throws it, the easier the shot gets.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a beauty. Is he going to bump it too and stay frozen?
Oh, that's lovely.
Did it go far?
Did it go far enough?
I think it did.
I think so. Tough to tell from our angle. We're not directly over the button. We take a look on the replay here. That's very nice. Martin Sessaker's had quite a game so far. Certainly out-curling his counterpart, even though it's a little early.
Play the in-turn like a little harder and try and like flop under the red on the left. Is it too?
Like out-turn hard. You can try and make it that way.
Yeah, like throw a little harder. That's good.
I think it's like a 10.
Yeah, whatever you're seeing.
It's looking close to a 10.
So trying to figure out the best way to hit this, because there's no good draw, and I do think that yellow's lying 2 the way they're operating here. If they weren't, I think they might consider the lefty intern draw, but Haven't really seen this shot yet. Asking for a 10.
10. Yep.
Another yep out of the hand. But maybe a misread by Trevor on his own third. Not Trevor, sorry.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Just close.
Sounds good.
I think mostly where they wanted it, they would have liked to roll inside a little bit, I think.
I think they were trying to roll it over in front of the red. You can see gets by with a little bit of room, but pretty good shot.
Double here for Martin?
Could. I mean, if you could walk it down there, you'd probably just do exactly what Team Kleiter just did and kind of hit and just stay in front of that red. Maybe roll a little bit across the face. Leave that backing. If the top one's already shot. If you're not sure, yeah, double for sure. You just don't want to roll back 4-foot here, I don't think. I don't think you wanted that. It's overrolled. That's pretty good. They were trying to roll back 4-foot there and leave Kleiter the freeze.
I was going to say, Ryland never makes that freeze and you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Good shot. Line 2 for sure now.
Speaking of big trouble, Brad Guju facing 3 mallet counters, although I think Bruce's guard on his last one just didn't quite curl enough. So Brad will have a shot for 1.
So another soft weight hit and roll for Ryland's getting a steady die to these so far.
No kidding. And he's had to make them all because they've been in some trouble.
Good.
12, nice soft weight. Gonna roll dead buried, not so worried about the freeze if you don't have the hammer. Just trying to eliminate that other yellow counter top 8.
Got to get that roll. And he won't find it this time. So now if Ramsfjell could get under that, Brent, this could be some trouble.
Put some pressure on him too, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I still don't want to roll a rock. If I could, I'd want to roll way over to the side 8-foot, I think, but make sure we lie to. Or you just roll kind of half under might be best. Then the freeze, if he bumps it all, you're still going to get 2. But if you roll this dead buried, he makes the freeze. You're in big trouble. I think Bruce stole another one. Not stole another one, but stole a point to go up 3-0 in the main event.
Yeah, indeed he did.
Ruining the crowd of 2000's day early. So a lot of chatter here. I think.
Yeah, this sort of felt straightforward to me, Brent. I don't know if I'm missing something here or what.
Yeah, I think if my favorite is you play the hit and roll just under. There's Coach Fry. Looks like I can't see who's. Looks like he's sitting with Joel, maybe. The Italian Stallions didn't have their best week.
No.
Wouldn't want to play them in the next event. They'll probably be pissed off.
I believe they're off to the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard right after this, as a lot of these teams are, especially the European ones.
Are, I think, most of them, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to waste a flight over to Canada and only be here for one event, so. First rock here for Magnus Ramsfjell, looking for a roll, and I don't know that he's gonna find a roll, but it's the complete opposite one that he wanted. That's not close, Brent.
That had to be way overthrown or just far too positive on the release. But his top one's so good and so buried. Will Ryland play off his own to try and get it? The Mowit? Bruce's was about 8 feet across the rings that he made to save the game in the A final with Nicholas, which is funny to think. Bruce is here on his way to winning the Spiel, and Nicholas ended up not qualifying. If he misses that shot, Nicholas certainly wins that game. And Bruce they might be trading places. Who knows? That's the fine line. That's the razor-thin margin of winning and losing at the top level. He's going to play off his own.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he ever really loved the draw. I mean, obviously you don't make the draw and you're giving up 2, whereas if you even get kind of a piece of this yellow, you're probably forcing.
Nothing wrong with this call. Play to your strength. Ryland's known more of as a soft player.
Yep.
Sometimes he can get a little bit offline when he tries to ramp it up. He can throw it hard. Lots of room for error on this one, though. This is like, it's hard to, you'd have to be pretty thin to totally miss the yellow and pretty thick to not have enough speed to lie two.
So final stone for Ryland Kleiter here in the third. Again, Trevor Johnson on it right out of the hand. Don't want to hit it too thick. Will it go far enough? Yes, it does.
Just enough. Another sweeping clinic.
Yeah, very nice sweep there from Trevor Johnson from tip to tail, as we used to say. And just gets the yellow out of the rings, and so it'll be a draw for one for Magnus Ramsfjell. And, you know, he only has to hit the 8-foot, Brent, but we also haven't really seen either of these skips have to draw yet.
No, they haven't, for sure. This is where you got to rely on your team and have them tell you the right speed. And so far, Team Kleiter, a little bit like Neo from the Matrix, just dodging bullets. Haven't really felt like they're totally in this. You know, to be up 2-0 and about to be up 2-1 with the hammer. It doesn't feel like that to me. Boys jumped on this right away, and they are not moving very fast.
No, this is close. Sessaker and Ramsfjell trying to get it there. They got to get it by the top red. Yeah,
that's just a great scrub.
Yeah, really good sweep from Ben Deacon Martin. So it will be the first score of the game for Magnus Ramsfjell, and that score will be 1. Kleiter will have the hammer once again when we come back.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Så lenge vi er galt, Bendik. Kjørt. Få merke. Kjørt. Kjør, Bendik. Kom igjen. Hardt. Hardt. Kom igjen. Litt til. Ja. Bra, Bra.
So welcome back, fourth end, and you got to think, Brent, that Team Kleiter pretty happy to be up 1 with hammer here. There's definitely been moments where it didn't look like that was going to happen, and here we are.
Line's good.
No, I think if you're Team Kleiter, so far you're feeling like, well, we're dodging bullets and we're in the lead, up 1 with the hammer, and almost been like really kind of in trouble every end. So got to be feeling pretty fortunate. And again, just keep saying the same things. Let's keep making shots, see if we can make a deuce here. We won't be happy with that one coming up short. And I think personally this is a great opportunity to throw another center guard. I didn't catch he's got the ice for either or. They're talking about high guard or come around.
Good sweep.
Epstead with the intern. I think they're going for the come around, but I would love to see a high guard here. You've had control of the ends. I know the scoreboard doesn't say that, but you've kind of been all over them. So I'd like to see a high guard here, but not going to get it. Top button. I caught that. Looks good.
We're good at like our rate for translation. I think we're batting about 1 out of every 1,000 words here.
Yeah, curling words we know.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them are the same in any language.
Yeah, exactly. You get it just a little sprinkle of a word you understand.
Oh, nice. Got that one.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's good. I agree. That's where I would want it as well.
A great come around. Maybe a little bit more curl would have been nice. So whoever being asked to chase this, remember the rule, you can't touch the guard. It's your guard, though. When it's on center line, you can wreck on your own guard. But this is not the case here. If he wrecks on the top one, it's going to go back, and that would be bad.
Again, huge sweep here from Josh Mattern. They do get by that center, and they do get by the top one. Now, can they move it far enough? Can they move it far enough? I think they did.
Wow. New candidate for best sweeping skip. And
no kidding. I couldn't believe that.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to think I want to check the brooms on Team Kleiter. That was ridiculous.
When's the last time you've seen a skip sweep that good?
Right?
That was wild. Great power there. I mean, Ryland Kleiter used to play university football, and certainly not a weak man.
No, he's an athlete. Yeah, no question.
So the chase here for Ramsfjell, and equally sweeping this one here, but they're going to just click that top one, and that is disaster.
Now I'm definitely checking their brooms. We just got outswept. They held theirs. That's my excuse to Jen all the time in mixed doubles. Well, he's not a better sweeper than me. He can't be. He must be cheating.
Yeah, you're just biting the back tee.
So they're coming around again. Really putting some pressure on him here. I don't think they have any choice. You can't let Team Ramsfjell, you can't let them make that freeze on the button. So the best way to do that is just beat them there. You're already lying too. I think the next shot you're going to see from the Norwegian foursome is the run back in the middle and really try and bail out here. Or maybe they've switched strategies and said, guys, let's not look too good too early. We've tried that 3 ends in a row and we're losing.
Line's good. Drop the drop. Yep. Line's good. Line's good.
Top eight. Top eight.
Yep. Line's good. Yes.
I like it.
Hard.
It's a little late.
Hard. Go.
So they buy the top. They are. Now how far can they drag it? That's pretty good, I think.
It's really good.
Yeah.
There is a run. You call it a triple, but there's a couple jams to avoid. This will tell you how their day's going. If this double jam, he makes it and it double jams on both side ones, the back one and the side one. It's going to be a long day for Brad and the boys, I think. I think he's got to weather the storm, as they say in the Gushu game, but see what happens here.
And misses
really
2 of those 3 reds, and
now you can go open side because there is no real freeze, and
run doubles, no picnic either.
Yikes.
I think I want to see a bit more.
Well, we saw Ryland Kleiter dodge a Ramsfjell Fury in the second end. We'll see if Ramsfjell can do the same here, because Matt Hall makes this. It's going to be Kleiter lying 3 and no obvious escape hatch for the Norwegians.
Maybe a little bit, Trev. Keep it out there. Yep. Line's good. Keep
It'd be nice to, I know you're happy pretty much anywhere, but it's nice to really dial in here and make this freeze really good. It'll be there the whole end. Don't want to leave a double into that one on the button. Can't be light here. This is well light. Not even the rings.
All right, Matty.
That's too bad.
I don't know if I misread the spot or he just underthrew it. They jumped it pretty early, so I think he just underthrew it.
Yeah, probably haven't seen too many rocks on that path, and haven't been too many draws in this game in general other than the lead stones. So maybe just a case for Matt Hall there of not knowing exactly the speed on that path, but that's a break for Team Ramsfjell. Martin Sesker now has the run double. Again, does have to avoid the jams.
Sounds good, yeah.
And there you go, just like that. Ramsfjell does find the escape hatch and lies 3. What a shot from Martin Sesker.
It's a sign of a good team when you catch a break and you make a really good shot on your next one. That's the sign of good things. When you get a break and you let him off the hook, you end up getting the hook off the team. And they're back to giggling. These guys like to have a good time on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. I like the vibe.
Yeah, me too.
Vibes are high in Trondheim, apparently.
Clean.
Sponsorship trap.
Close.
Close. Close.
Curl.
Can you answer here?
Yep.
Know this roll. They've made this a couple of times. Just missed the sweep. Not terrible, though. And that center guard. It's going to be hard to get behind it, so probably just going to hit and roll away. And then I think you're going to see Kleiter just try and make the draw here, knowing that he's probably forced.
Good throw, bud. Good weight, 11-5.
Next door, if you're watching on Sportsnet, now it finally missed a shot. Boucher's got a deuce set up. They're still playing the soft weight here, John, but not knowing they can't really roll under. It would be great to nose it, but any hit and stay here. The closer you stay to the guard, the better. That'll do the trick.
Ramsfjell continuing to lie 3 here.
Yeah, or the middle.
Around the middle.
And do not have the hammer.
Be the better path for sure.
Probably make this more often.
The middle one?
I think so.
I think I would go around the middle. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're not really in danger of giving up a steal at the moment. And I think if you don't go around the middle, that's the way that Ramsfjell could steal. So I think that's the call.
That'll be my fear is, all of a sudden, you make a really good shot. It's frozen behind the corner. Like, well, we're not getting that out, so I guess we're going around top 8. And if they make it, it's around their guard as well. So I think they found the right one.
Line's good. I like it. Line's perfect. It's all you. Play the speed.
Line's real good.
Trevor's wrong. Line will be good. All you guys, line's great. 15-7. Gotta go.
Ooh, 15-7. That's going to need some work here from Johnson and Hall to get there for shot.
A little more. Good.
And again, a great sweep, but that could be a trouble rock if Ramsfjell makes the draw here.
Yeah, it's another guard, really.
That was a 15-5, so 15s are a pretty good sweep, probably to team.
Your hog there. What? Your hog there.
15-6.
First rock here for Magnus Ramsfjell. And if he can make a draw around everything, it could set up a potential steal.
Don't get much better chances than this to steal, so don't take advantage, and this looks kind of perfect.
Need it to slow down.
Just right there. Pretty good. Rock too far, though, you're right. But I think no matter what, Ryan was going to load this up, as we say, and make a freeze, and then, Magnus will have really no choice but to guard it. The other side, the chase is probably there. A little bit over curl, a little bit of too far, went too far, so a rock higher would have kept it buried, too. Good freeze here, and it's either going to be a steal or multiples.
And you hear the cheer from the crowd. Brad Gushue does convert on that deuce opportunity. So 3-2, Bruce Mowat leads in the Tier 1 final. They're heading into the 4th end break.
So any miss here, though, would be expensive. Looked like he really threw that. Thought he was sliding kind of slow and added.
Yeah, nothing really from Josh and Trevor. You heard it was back 4 out of the hand from Josh was the call, and this is...
We are bouncing.
Yeah,
they gotta hope they're wrong, but they're not wrong.
No, I don't think so. This really hasn't curled. Bounce here is real trouble.
Shot rock.
Yeah, it is shot, but I think so too, but
that's really bad.
Pretty accessible for Magnus, and if he makes a little hit and roll or even nose, Ryland's in deep water here.
Just a freeze bump, you think? Just bump it back, a couple of inches to lie 2 and stay right there. Almost want to make sure you don't over curl, because if you over curl and bump it, you might leave a corner of it and leave it double. Even for 2, if you ever bump this a foot kind of right on the nose. You might leave a quarter rock double for 2, and it might even be a catcher for 3. Getting a little ahead of myself though, folks. Same, very similar shot he just made.
Yeah, I would expect he'll be close here. Final stone, Magnus Ramsfjell. Chance to really apply some pressure to the team from Saskatoon. Oh, they're leaning on it now. You got to get by this top red. Oh, no.
And rolled to a really bad spot, potentially. Not even going to look at that thin on the yellow.
It's pretty thin. You could lose your own, give up a steal.
Don't see anything for 2 then. I guess that on the nose, but that could easily give up a steal too.
Yeah.
There's no
maybe.
I think
I think that's there for 2. But that brings the top one back into play.
This can't really go bad.
Oh, I disagree.
I think the problem for Kleiter is almost every shot for them for 2 could go bad. I think that's the issue.
I think that yellow into the side of the red, you get 1 all day long, and if your shooter sticks on the right side, you get 2.
If you squeak that yellow, it's going to be close.
Yeah, you're just trying to stuff it on this.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing like just through.
Okay.
Just through.
This ends up in a steal a lot of times. Because anything into the red is going to be a steal almost.
Make this, Maddie. Just know
I'm not a fan of this. I think if you play that hit and you get the yellow to hit the red, it is fairly thin, but as long as it hits the red, you're going to score.
Yeah, just through.
Maybe I don't know what color's who. Am I misreading this? No, he's red, so yeah, that's what I like. This one, if he's a little heavy and he hits it high into his own red, he needs enough weight to move that yellow, so he's going to have enough weight to move the red, and he could give up a steal. Really famous guy on the big screen right now, John Cullen. You gotta watch yourself in love. Sitting on the beach.
Yeah, me and Brucey. Here we go, final stone, Ryland Kleiter. Trevor Johnson again trying to hold this out of the hand. This is really curling. Do they have it? They're by the top. Now, do they have enough to move the yellow? Can they move it far enough? I don't think they did. Wow, what a sweep from Johnson and Mattern, but unfortunately just about 3 feet too short for Ryland Kleiter on the tap. They'll settle for 1 2-point lead. We're going to take a 3-minute break.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9, basically until the end of juniors. So getting to form those friendships with my teammates was really special to me. I started curling because of my grandparents, and both my parents curled and my brother, so it was just like a whole family thing. And when you walk into the curling club in Truro, Nova Scotia, and everyone greets you, and it's such a warm environment, and it's fun. After school, we'd go, and all of our friends would be there, so it was just like such a fun environment. And I got to curl with some of my closest friends growing up, so it really helped me keep in the game, and we all had the same goals.
I know what curling has done for our family, the opportunities it provided for both my girls. Nationally, you know, we've got to see, travel the world. It's just a great sport. It's a small community. People, you know, at all levels, everybody knows each other. It's kind of a unique sport that way.
It's a sport that enables him to build his confidence and to make friends while doing something that he really enjoys.
Right now at the age that they're at, it's just awesome to see when they come here and they see their friends in the curling club and the stuff they do off the ice too, and smiles and hanging out and just enjoying their time with friends.
vi byggt upp den, eller? Nah. Tror bra.
I mean, if I have the right weight, we can just let that come up a bit. Right?
Yeah, ja, nei, det er ikke det. Men er det bare å fortsette som jeg har gjort med hammer? Vi ligger jo til å ta 2, 3 og 4 hver gang. Ja.
It's caught.
De legger setter legger i corner nå, hvis den ikke ligger så jævla høyt. Jeg tror det, ja. Liksom jeg er ganske bra på å få på plass de frysene på eneren sin andre stein. Så jeg liker å få den ut på siden.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Bell Alliance Center here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, for the Tier 2 men's final here at the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside Brent Lang with you for this game between Ryland Kleiter and Magnus Ramsfjell. And Brent, 3-1 so far for Team Kleiter. I think maybe Team Kleiter will feel a little bit fortunate to be ahead 3-1, but for both teams, big end set up, not really converting. What did you make of the first half?
Yeah, I think to echo what you're saying here, it seems like probably if you didn't know the score and you just watched the shots and the pressure being applied, I think Kleiter's been kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit more. Unfortunately, the biggest shot of the game so far for me, I mean, one of them was the hit in the first end that the fellas held. The sweeping from Team Kleiter has been world class and then some, but that last shot for Magnus there in the fourth end, he had a game-turning rock in his hand, and he just made it on his first, and they just kind of misjudged. I'm not sure if it maybe a slight pick, but they misjudged the line a bit because they didn't need to get anywhere near that one they ended up wrecking on, and they weren't panicked. So maybe I just talked myself into giving them the benefit of the doubt. But that would have been huge trouble, and then Ryland played a really tough shot and just missed it. So even Ramsfjell and the fellas, they're probably feeling a little fortunate they didn't give up 2 there, and hopefully it's all still positivity from them, and let's just keep applying pressure. I think you're going to see a corner guard here, and you got to be playing every end, and maybe even 2 corner guards. Make sure we've got some stuff to hide behind, but looks like it's going to be a good finish, full of heavy sweeps. That's what I know for sure.
Yeah, both these teams, as we said off the top of the show, adjusting to this new ice surface. There's 2 ice pads here at the McLaughlin Arena, and the Tier 1 has been played on one, and the Tier 2 has been played on another, and they bring the Tier 2 final over to the main pad here at the Bell Alliance Center. So playing in front of the fans, but also playing on this surface for the first time. So it's been a bit of an adjustment, although I think both teams have made the adjustment well. We talked about it last night on the stream. I've been in the Tier 2 before myself, and so have you, Brent. And I know as the week goes on and you start to go a little further and a little further in the Tier 2, you start to text your friends in the Tier 1, get some data on the ice and on the rocks. I mean, the one nice part this week is that every game has been streamed, so you would have also been able to watch some games that have been played on sheet A, maybe time some rocks and see just how the other teams playing on the sheet have handled it. But yeah, certainly an adjustment, but both these teams look pretty decent so far. And also, as we said off the top of the show, winner of this game gets a free berth into the WFG Masters in January in Guelph. So lots on the line, and we do see the center guard going up here for Trevor Johnson, and we'll see if you're right, Brent, if Magnus elects to put another corner guard up here. It looks like he's going to tap this out.
I think with where that ended up, because it's higher, if that was a nice tight center, I think you would have saw another one, but that's almost a better guard for Ramsfjell, and I agree with you. I'm impressed. Both these teams handled, this is their first game on the ice, which, the ice is better than when we started this week, but quite often first games on a new surface is quite sloppy. But great segue into the streaming. Home Team Live doing an amazing job, obviously. I'm hearing great things about this commentating team for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know how we managed it. It's also our first week together, so we're
on a new surface as well, folks.
Exactly. Yeah, the surface of the moon,
and it's slippery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of rocks sliding very far, and I'll tell you this for free: sweeping not very good.
No, we're on our own. It's all released. Once it's out there, once it's out of your mouth, nobody can help you.
Nobody can help you. That's
for proving that as well.
Yes,
so.
Yes.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, no, it's been a phenomenal week. Really, no hiccups at all. Knock on wood. But we've only got a game and a half left, and the team at Home Team Live really put together an amazing streaming package, and for free, no less. So You know, for curling fans, you know, we were never able to see the games on Tuesday and Wednesday at the slams, and you know, also not able to see all the games as they happen. We were kind of just left subject to the Sportsnet feed and whatever game they were playing. So yeah, it's a lot of positive feedback from curlers and curling fans getting to see all these games they normally wouldn't, and it's been a blast being here with you and Tyler and Chelsea and everyone else all week. It's been really good, and we look forward to seeing you again in Nisku in a couple weeks. The Silent Ice Center just outside of Edmonton will play host to the next slam, and we'll be there.
Looking forward to it already. There won't be a tier 2, so that's unfortunate. I don't know if you'll hear from us on a Sunday. But making the weekend for us is in our first event. That's always a good sign.
Feels good, yeah.
Right?
I said that when I started commentating. You know, commentating is the one nice part is you always make the final, right? Doesn't matter what happens. So
trying to get this one over behind the corner. Not sure it quite got that far, but there is a hole between the red and the yellow. So if you're Kleiter, you probably don't want to stay here. It might become something that they can throw the same draw and freeze on. You'd probably love to. Okay, so it is a peel weight shot, which tells me the hole's not huge. But if they played it lighter, they'd probably overcurl the back one because the guard is high. The players are loving the stream to be able to watch the ice. I'm sure they're just muting us, but
no doubt about that.
That is a huge advantage. That's a good shot.
Yeah, very
nice.
nice.
As you can do.
Through the hole,
putting a game together.
Yeah. Through the hole for Matt Hall, very solid, and Kleiter lying 3 without hammer here. And this is kind of how we've seen all these ends set up for the team without hammer. They seem to all of a sudden have 3 or 4 in play. Hasn't really been a dominant end from any of the teams with hammer except for Ramsfjell in the second, and Kleiter ended up pulling the string, pulling the parachute, and getting his team a steal in an end where it looked like Ramsfjell might score a 3 or 4.
They don't love this one.
It's just right on the beak.
Trying to find a way for the Norwegians to get a rock behind that yellow corner guard. That's going to be your answer for a deuce here probably, but and Kleiter just trying to keep things around the center and stay lying 3 as long as possible.
So a good look there. If you're talking about this game or anything to do with the slams, use the hashtag Let's Rock.
10-5. Clean. Easy then.
Cool to see the fans wearing the gear, the curling group, Curling Stone logo on all these hats and shirts, and something that the game we've never had before.
Yeah, it's been awesome. You and I have been modeling a bunch of the clothes this week. Very comfortable, very stylish. They're available at every slam. There'll be a rock shop if you're at the slams in person, but if you can't make it out to a slam, or maybe you're not going to be able to make it out until the new year and you're dying to get your hands on some of the clothes, it's therockshop.net. And one of the things I like too, Brent, is they've been doing location-specific clothes. So we saw in Charlottetown they did a sweater with the Charlottetown Curling Club logo on it, one of the older clubs in Canada, and we also saw the Bradgaju Highway sign on a crew neck shirt.
I've heard some cool ideas coming, so stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, for Martin Sessaker trying to find a way out to the shot stone, but yeah, it's been swept pretty much out of the hand by Bendik, and they do lose that back one, but I think this is still pretty chaseable for Team Kleiter.
Good hack.
He got by the guard with lots of room. He was trying to roll, again, under that yellow corner guard, and I will be the first to admit when I'm wrong that maybe they should have thrown another corner guard. That high guard has turned out to be Kleiter's best friend.
Solid. Clean. Solid. Clean, Matt. Clean.
Much easier shots here for Kleiter. I know they're the same shot, but they don't want to roll over behind that corner guard, so
Take that yellow, right?
needs to stay in the 8-foot.
Good pair.
It's pretty good.
That is good. Yeah, he's going thinking blank now. Tired of trying to get around those guards, and I don't blame him.
Well, and taking the hammer into 6, never a bad idea either.
Could make this double and roll behind the center.
I think it was just to the bumper corner. Yeah, it's like 12-5. Yeah, probably. Because it bumped it through pretty easily and you made the roll.
Heard the après curl was pumping again last night. I personally ran out of gas. Needed to get some food after the game.
You were leaking oil.
Yeah. But tragically, Hip Cover Band apparently brought the house down.
They were really good. Really good. Yeah, it was the après curl has been. Oh, that's a hello. Speaking of good,
there's a bit of a momentum change for at least this end.
Yeah. What a fantastic shot from Martin Sessaker. Another look at that. Makes the double and rolls behind that center. Now, once again, that center guard becoming Ramsfjell's friend.
Out-turn chase through the hole. Similar spot to where Ryland threw in the first end, a little closer to center, but it's not going to look awesome from the hack. Needs to come up with one here. Can't get to the nose. You know, the hair across the nose if he jams on the back. Magnus will be able to chase it and lie too. That's really the only danger. If you get through the hole, just make a good sweeping call. Probably sticking with that 11.5, 12. That seems to be the weight they play for almost everything. Love to see it.
First rock, Ryland Kleiter. Playing the chase.
Another 100% sweep here.
Yeah, TJ on it right out of the hand. This is flirting with that center guard.
He just won't let it hit a guard.
No, they really won't.
Guys, I got you today.
Can they move it far enough now,
That's
though?
got to leave town.
That's got to get at the back. And we've seen that from Ryland a couple times, just coming up a hair light on those hits.
Go to a sneaky good spot. Kind of gonna have to throw the intern through the kind of reverse stagger, we would call it, another curling term. I don't know where else I would use the words reverse stagger.
I can think of maybe one moment where you might leaving the après curl, perhaps.
Trying to back out with the stagger.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a difficult shot and awkward looking. He didn't say piloza, did he? That's not peel, is it? It's just that you got to pick the right weight that makes this shot makeable so that when you go through, the shooter stays. And it might be a hole that if you get through with any weight, it stays. Kind of frame it or lining it up. Looks like he's throwing it pretty hard. Yeah, so that weight's determined by the size of the hole.
So needs to navigate the port here. And you'd love to stick around. And that's no trouble, actually, for Magnus Ramsfjell. They lie too.
Do you go through the hole, or do you just say, you got me, and hit the open one?
Going through the hole is danger, because it's not really a great steal, I don't think, if you go through the hole.
Are you going to take on more risk and still give up two? Or just hit the open one? We're going to have a tie game here. I hope. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything. I'm not cheering for one team or the other. I hope, because I love close games. They're more fun to commentate, and it feels like it deserves to be a closer game than it is. And I know it is still only a 2-point game, but both teams playing quite well.
Yep, no question about it. Over on the feature sheet, it's an open hit for Bruce Mowat for 3, which that could
turn the lights out, blow out the candle.
That could be some trouble for Brad Gouju to find his way back in. So
still clapping though, nothing but class from Charlottetown.
Sorry, for 2.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
It's still expensive.
Yeah, still expensive. 5-2, Bruce Mowat leads. And Ryland Kleiter does hit the open one, so we'll see if Magnus decides to draw here. I think, well, he'll have to now that that red rolled out. So
he could nose it if you really weren't feeling draw weight.
If you really weren't feeling draw weight, you could make the much harder shot. Just needs to hit paint here, does Magnus Ramsfjell. Final stone in 5.
To make this a 3-end game, and really I think that the two key shots of the game that have turned the scoreboard is the hit and roll that Ryland made in the second to take a 3 and make it a steal, and then the chance last end that Magnus had to make that freeze. And like I said, I think that might have been a soft pick, but we got a tie game, Johnny.
3-3. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club.
Wait a cup.
I've stood at the pinnacle and battled in the most intense game.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Good spot,
Yeah. I like it.
Good spot to be in, yeah.
So as my esteemed partner Brent Lang said, it is a 3-end game now. Ryland Kleiter with the hammer in end number 6. We are all tied up at 3. Winner with that all-important berth at the WFG Masters in January. That's what we're playing for here, and it's been a tight game, and we've talked about it, Brent. Neither team really able to wrest control of this game, but both teams playing quite well here.
Yeah, it's been not a total shot-making clinic, but for first time on the ice, big stage, big crowd. They've played exceptionally well. I think both teams would be happy with how they've played, and it comes down to, like any well-played game, 1 or 2 key shots, a break here or there, and so far that's been Kleiter, but it's 3-3. So in the ever-important 6th end, it's a 3-end game. So in theory, if you don't give up any steals, Kleiter gets 2 hammers to 1. So that's advantage Kleiter. But then often some teams, and I know Reed Aram or Reed Carruthers was always a fan of blanking 6. And taking the hammer to 7, knowing that the other team's really got to press then, because they can't give you a blank, and sometimes that press leads to a 3. Or sometimes you get the blank. So that's the team choices. Everybody knows what they want to do in this situation, how they're going to play it.
Yeah, it worked for Mike McEwen in the men's quarterfinal against Yannick Schwaller. Did exactly that, blanked 6 and blanked 7, and then scored 2 in the 8th to win. Now, granted, Mike McEwen did have to make one of the shots of the week to do that in the 8th, but yeah, you're right for sure that it's not out of the question that you can blank 2 in a row.
As you were saying in the break, that McEwen team just extremely well coached, I've heard.
Absolutely, and I've been telling you that for most of the week, I think.
Since Stoughton got on the bench this week, it's the words I've been hearing.
I guess it's more often. I like the wing. I want to say like 6.
I like the double centers here.
With the good.
Okay, 2 more feet slide,
are we
2 more feet ahead. Sure.
drawing the wing here? Since Tyler George said that never happens, and I said you won't see it, I've seen it 5 times. I don't like this call.
What do you not like about it?
I don't like that they're going to beat you to the 4-foot. You got 3 center guards basically. That one top 8 is easily variable around. And I don't think that I don't think Magnus is falling for a hit and roll here. I would think he's going to go around straight around. Unless this is top 8, then he might hit a couple of times and see if he can save the guards. I might hit that for now, so that hoping that they don't notice that the center guards are their problem, and maybe they just hit and lie 2 and then just make one really good come around halfway through the end. And
it just comes out of your hand on your intern a bit.
yeah, I don't love this situation if I'm
If I gave it more, we're getting really close to that guard though.
So Bendik Ramsfjell
You're right though, I am.
being asked to hit and roll here. Won a World Junior Bronze back in 2017, and
can't roll out though.
No,
that's a freebie.
Yeah, it's too bad. Over curls on him there.
Oh, we're still going open side. Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, you might have thought maybe they'd have learned their lesson there.
Okay, well, they got a plan, so none of them seem surprised by this. I love that. I love the team's on the same page, and they've got a plan. I'd be nervous, but I've got more scar tissue than these young fellas. I mean, I tell you what, I'm happy if I'm Team Ramsfjell that they're not peeling the top guard or taking a run at that double peel, but I guess they don't want to blank here. They want to take advantage of their 2 hammers to 1. But if you're doing that, I think you go around the center. But time will tell. That almost hit the center guard.
Yeah. Took a while to come off, but I think that's a better spot for that redstone. The hit and roll now not available for
That's going to make him
Magnus.
draw Shirley. Yeah,
no question.
I don't know who Shirley is, but...
Yeah, yours is a 15.
So going with the intern. Yeah. This is similar to the one that took off on Magnus in the 4th. So they do know the spot. He made the first one perfect. That's where they're looking for this one, right on the button, buried. And then what's your guess, John? Does Ryland, do they load it up? Do they follow him down? I'm feeling like they are. They want to play aggressive here, and they're confident their skipper's going to make a good shot to bail him out and get one if it gets to that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the problem is if Bendik makes this really good, what's the bailout, right? Like you're 2 shots away probably from fully bailing out, at least 2. But this is a little light here from Bendik, so that's a tough miss. Kleiter, I think, is line 2 here.
I think he just burnt that rock.
Yeah, he definitely burnt it.
I hate this rule in curling.
I think you touched it. I think it has to.
Yeah, I think that's the rule, and Ryland feels bad about it, but that's the correct thing. Don't touch the rocks, guys.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it stopped.
Yeah, no, we heard it. You could hear it on the on the broadcast. We have the audio, the player mics, and so yeah, for Gauta, that's tough mistake. And you heard him say, well, I don't think it really affected the rock, and that's how we used to kind of do it. You know, if you burnt it, especially near the end of the rock's path, you'd kind of go, well, it's close enough to where it would have ended up, whatever. But
and you feel terrible, right? You could see Ryland didn't want to take, he didn't want him to touch it, didn't want him to take it off, but it's no fault of Ryland's.
No.
I like top 4.
And he was right. You know, he said to Gauta, well, you touched it, so it comes off.
I think it needs to come off, yeah.
And yeah, this, you know, anyone who knows Ryland knows he's one of the nicest guys out here, just an absolute gem, and for sure he doesn't feel great about that. But if we want the sport to not be officiated tightly, that's kind of one of the drawbacks of it, is that you have to do it. You have to kind of be your own official sometimes.
I've always kind of thought of it as no different than any other sport. It's a physical mistake you made, and you pay for those. It's not like I was sliding perfect, John. I just said it at the end. Can I just put it back a bit?
Yeah. Like I didn't mean to set it.
I didn't mean to do it, and it was perfect until the very end. Like,
yeah. I think we can all agree. Everyone out here saw me set it, and if I hadn't said it, we would have made the shot perfect. So that's a little deep.
We're only bringing that half a rock more.
It is Kleiter line 3, but that one sliding a little deep will give Martin Sessaker a chance to lock it right on here.
Switching turns, which it looks easier and there's more room on the button. It just, as long as they know this path as well, which they know they played earlier in the end for the guards, so I'm sure they do. Or no, they played the interns, so maybe they don't.
6.
So weight sounds close. I heard a call of 6.
Anything but heavy here.
Yeah, this looks like it might be just a little heavy. Oh boy.
Okay.
Got a friendly little spin, kind of back underneath that guard a little bit, but this is starting to look a little bit dangerous for Team Ramsfjell.
Like, do we want to make sure we're killing this, or what kind of weight?
You definitely want to kill it.
Yeah,
Keep those other ones alive.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't get too cute with that.
This is,
down to back 8.
I don't know about staying there. Like, you're basically leaving a pocket to draw into, right on the button.
This is your best spot.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
So there's still 3 more rocks to come from Team Ramsfjell. So this situation is still, I think, uncomfortable for Kleiter, but the price of admission is high.
Yeah.
They're, a chance to win the game. So I like the call here. You want to hit it. It's kind of a gut feel. Do we want to roll out of there? Well, there's already one to freeze to, so maybe we want to stay there. I don't know what the answer is. Definitely want to kill this, though. That's number 1.
That's job number 1. Matt Hall trying to bring this over. It's not a ton of weight.
Ryland, though, just solidifying. Taking cups off the mantle, I think, is best sweeping skip.
So they do leave it right there, Brent, and they can see all of it. So they're not completely drawing dead here.
No, they got to move it. A really good shot here puts a lot of pressure on Team Kleiter. Needs the same weight he just threw, really. It would be perfect. And just get a shade low and bump this to the back of the button. And sounds made. A little strong, maybe. Needs that red one to sit. Perfect, just too heavy, but you can start to see the problem.
Punch it through the hole.
Yeah, the problem is Kleiter could lie 5 after this. That's the problem I'm seeing.
That's the problem. Yahtzee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nose is so fine.
I mean, this is it. We're all in if we're for Team Ramsfjell here. Both teams are pushing their chips in here.
Like a 12?
Something's going to
I was
happen.
going to say just a little bit more than
Yeah, this has a bit of the feel of the 8th end in the 2018 Olympic gold medal final, where it seemed like John Schuster and Nicholas Edin both agreed at the same time that
we're tired of waiting.
The game was going to be settled in that end one way or the other. And it was an open hit for 5 for John Schuster at the end of that.
Believe it or not, I didn't watch that game.
What?
No, I don't know.
You didn't have it on in the Village?
I don't think so.
No, I can't imagine so, yeah.
Whoa, yeah. Whoa, whoa, close.
So for Josh Mattern, just trying to poke this through the hole, I-5.
This is a tough shot, very precise.
Not easy. Oh, did it curl too much at the end? No, it didn't.
Perfect.
That is tasty. That's a lot of rubies.
I know the gut is to draw. You could double off the ones in the 4-foot is an option and maybe get lucky and get a triple, but that's not really helping you. So we're all in here.
We're all in, baby. Yeah. Stack them up. Push them in the middle.
So far they've called our bluff, though.
Yeah.
We need to hit the river.
Oh, boy.
That one's staying there. Like, I thought that was going to roll off another rock, and then this freeze would have been a little bit more margin for error, but he needs to get low and stay frozen, because otherwise it's going to leave like a 1-foot angle raise for Ryland.
Yeah, if you're light or heavy here, it's probably absolute death. So massive shot here for Magnus Ramsfjell. He's been in some big games before, but this is a huge one and a huge shot.
Not a broom to it yet.
No, they have not touched it. This looks a little bit heavy. If you ever click off here, you're in massive trouble.
That's how you judge a stone right there. What do you do when it's heavy? You watch it.
You just watch it and hope and pray. That's a really nice touch from Magnus Ramsfjell. Freezes it right on the face. Couldn't have walked it down any better, as we say.
So he said, play this now, or do we come down and bump it on the intern side, and then we have 2 ways to get it? That looks hard.
That looks really hard.
That's not one I want to see my skip throw.
No.
Yeah, that 4's pretty good right now.
Yeah, because if you ever try the pick and you flash it,
oh yeah,
you're giving up a steal.
Yeah.
Try and stop the 4.
I mean, even if you catch this guard, I think he has to.
Yeah,
then he
but
might
then he's
lock
just going on
I guess.
again.
Yeah, then he locks.
Okay, what do you
I
like?
don't think he's guarding.
This probably gives us
I
a better
didn't hate
result.
like your thought either. Just like this.
That's I think if you lose the 7 and lose this, he can't freeze again because he's sitting
we have
right above button.
two ways of getting out.
That's a pretty good call, I think.
He's going to come down and try to lock it here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough shot, though.
I like this.
I agree. I think this is probably the best shot. It's just also probably the
it's so hard to stick this.
easiest to miss.
You don't. Yeah, you don't even have to really. If he gets,
then he's coming here.
Do we need to be shot right? Can we take a time?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it is a good time for a timeout. This is.
It's a crucial shot.
Yeah.
You got, because the thing is, I think, Brent, if you don't make this shot, you're probably giving up a steal. So you got to come up with the right idea here. Dean Kleiter out to have a chat.
Yeah, the only thing he can do is come and freeze in here.
Yeah.
And take it away.
Then we don't really have it. We just have a tap for...
2 is big here, though. We want to make sure we score for sure, right?
That slash is awfully thin.
If you want to make sure you score, I feel like...
I don't know how far you're moving that
if
yellow.
if you lose all this, you can just come here again.
Yeah, that's the problem. Even if you throw a slash,
You want to stick the 4.
Magnus just makes the draw back, and you're still potentially giving up a steal.
I know.
For that reason, I think you have to play the intern bump. It's risky.
For sure. Everything's risky. We're all in.
Right.
I like this.
Yeah, I like that too. I think that's the best shot.
Correct. Yeah. This is 14-1, hey?
And you can really, Brent, I think you can push that red back, really as far as you like. Like, even if it comes out the back of the house.
I don't think you're worried. It's a line shot. I mean, the problem is I think you just have to be back 8, back 12 with some sweeping to move it far enough so that if it does jam on it, that you at least get 2. You heard Ryland say we have to score, and it's like, well, if that was the case, maybe we debrief after by leaving those 2 center guards. But at this point, if you have to score, then you have to make this shot. And then you're going to have to make your last one too, because they're still going to be shot.
First stone here for Ryland Kleiter, end number 6. All the chips are in the middle of the table for both teams. Ryland Kleiter trying to win them all here. They're leaning on this hard. Josh Mattern, Trevor Johnson trying to get it there. You got to get by the top. Can you get by the next one? You got to get by that one too, and they will not. Just feathers that top red, and
now that makes the second freeze easier to lie to and get low, and nothing's going to leave.
Oh, just. I think weight was pretty close, but again, maybe just a hair underthrown by Ryland Kleiter there.
I don't know what they're waiting on here. Like, you have to draw right there.
It's not giving us the right weight.
Yeah, so you heard Josh Mattern say he's just not giving us the right weight, and I tend to agree with that. I think just underthrew that a hair.
I didn't mind the slide.
Well, right in there would be ideal.
Good sweep.
Even if it's not, though, as long as it's out counting the 2 in the 8-foot, Ryland's going to have a tap for 1 that's not super easy, and that's not a terrible situation. But this is a huge chance to take control of the game. Whoever scores here goes to a much higher percentage. I'd have to call Matt Pinball Hall to find out what the number is. But
yeah, I wonder if he's picking up right now.
Yeah, probably not, eh?
No, he's not. Kevin Park probably doesn't have all his personal belongings in his pocket while he's playing.
I did play with a teammate once that was expecting a call and brought a phone out on the ice with him at the Bear Mountain Spiel. He was a spare, Peter Stesky, and I think it was a very important business call, if I recall.
Yeah, it would have to be.
He did ask, was he okay? And Glenn said, oh, for sure.
Especially the Bear Mountain, that was always in April too, right? So that's kind of end of the season. Who cares?
I think Glenn probably hoped it was a 2-hour call, actually. That was back when nobody really wanted to play a 3.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Pete. I know you're not listening anyway, but
you could have played with 3 right? rather than bring Pete in the first place. But yeah, we thought you had to have a 4th back then.
So another chance at the biggest shot that he's had this game, which was the exact same shot 2 ends ago. But he just made it with 0 sweeping. Can he bring the guys in a little bit here and make it perfect? Bra, that means line is good. I think he's light.
Yeah, it looks a little light here. Sessaker and Ramsfjell trying to drag this.
They don't have the line.
No, they're all over the top. So now does Ryland Kleiter have a slash in here for a few?
That's got to be rock related. These guys are too good to miss by that much twice. With that probably.
Yeah, you're right. It is that same rock. Yeah, because you had said soft pick. Maybe it's just the rock's a little bit of a piggy.
And this is the set that Jacobs played those yellows first draw, and between Ben and Brett, they had one straight 1-1 cutter, and I really hope those 2 didn't end up in Magnus's hands. But
well, we also had in the Charette Gate game, we heard Jeff Walker say he did not like the yellow set either. He was throwing a mismatched set. So yeah,
this is where it comes down to what friends you have in the Tier 1, right? And if you have the wrong friends, like Fry said to me the other day, I'll give bad rock information on purpose so people don't ask me anymore.
Yep, smart.
He didn't really say that. I'm kidding, but yeah. So, because that didn't get to the 8 for, that's what I was saying. Even if it just got to 4th shot, he'd probably hold him to 1. But now,
chance for 3 for Ryland Kleiter. He's not throwing a bomb here. Yeah, that yellow's dead frozen.
I think with that angle, it goes pretty easy. But yeah, I'm surprised it's this light.
Sounds like they're close. Sounds like they're close. Did they overcook the sweeping?
My God.
Oh my goodness, they did. Who scored there? 1 red. So they do end up getting a score, but just overcooking the sweeping a hair. We know how powerful the sweeping is there, and unfortunate miss on the sweep call. So it will be 1 for Ryland Kleiter. Magnus Ramsfjell will have the hammer in the 7th when we come back.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Okay. De har vært veldig gode til når vi har kommet rundt, så har de vært gode til å fryse den eller hackbarne den. Jeg tror vi legger corner, så derfor er jeg litt annet corner.
Welcome back, curling fans. Men's Tier 2 final. Ryland Kleiter, Magnus Ramsfjell, and Brent, I think if Ryland Kleiter loses this game, they're going to look back on that 6th end and rue a real missed opportunity there.
Yeah, like we both said, it's not I guess a bit of a surprising weight call. I thought he would have thrown it harder, and if you throw it hard and get it close, it's at least 2, and that would have been huge. Maybe got a little bit greedy and really trying to make it soft for 3 or 4, I guess, but well thrown. Just their sweeping finally bit them.
Yeah, exactly.
Too strong.
Too strong from Trevor Johnson. He was the inside sweeper on that too, so we'll see if Magnus can get something going here. Hasn't been able to really put his stamp on this despite having a few bigger ends, but did convert with the hammer in 5, so he'll be looking to do the same again here. And I think if you're Magnus, Brent, it's a blank or 2. I mean, that's the goal anyway, but particularly in this end.
Yeah, and I think you'd see a lot of teams go around that center, kind of keep the blank a little bit more likely. But I think you're more likely to score 2 or even 3 and 7, because if this is the situation coming home, teams they'll play a lot more aggressive to steal, knowing that giving up 2 loses the game. So here they might just say, you know what? It's not over if we give up 2 here, so let's be a little conservative late in the end. So. And I've been corrected on social media again. Did I say that all feedback has been positive? Every single comment? There's no such thing. Yeah, certainly there's been some constructive criticism, but the majority has been positive, and I think overall the idea is fantastic, was my point, so I apologize if I offended anybody by saying everybody loves me.
That's sort of the opposite of that old song. Everybody loves me, nobody hates me.
I gave up on that idea a long time ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The weight was good. You would have been like T-line.
Can't have lovers without haters, I feel like, that's kind of how I've always looked at it.
Benny always had a great line. I don't know where he stole it from, but if nobody hates you, you're not very good at anything.
That's also good point.
Especially in sports.
Yeah, people definitely have their favorites, and they're more than willing to let you know.
Looks a little deep, but no,
not bad.
14.6, so that's a good speed. That's kind of, for me personally, everybody kind of has their own favorite speed. for me, like a 14-6, 14-7 is almost the natural leg kick. When it gets to 15 plus, I really got to pay attention.
For sure. Yeah, that's where you're slowing down your slide.
I start aiming for shorter spots, truthfully, and then when it gets to 14, 14-1, I don't find that to be great feel, so I got to think I'm heavy. That's how much I try and simplify draw weight. And there you go. That's all my secrets I learned in 40 years. That's it.
That's what happens when you tune into Home Team Live. Brent Lang spilling the secrets, and this is going to spill off this yellow. Oh, boy. That's too bad for Matt Hall, and now Magnus Ramsfjell, chance to get a 2 brew in here. In the Tier 1 final, it is Bruce Mowat in firm control, up 5-3 with the hammer, playing the 7th.
Need the Charlottetown fans to put on the rally caps.
Yeah, it's looking like the Tour Challenge will be heading across the pond, but still 2 ends to go there. You can watch that game on Sportsnet or Sportsnet Plus in Canada, or you can watch it without audio on Home Team Live.
I said that to Mike and the guys, Team McEwen, after coaching them a little bit last year, and they wanted me back this year. I said, guys, I already taught you everything I know. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I'll stand there.
I'll hang out with you. You're good dudes. I like watching you curl, but if you're looking for more wisdom, I think you need somebody different. That was a good shot.
Yeah, really good spot there from Bendik.
Needs a big runner here. The center guards, I mean, they're kind of his savior, so this is a must make. If you ever missed this and just peeled it, it would be pretty bad.
Trevor Johnson once again on and out of the hand. Oh, boy.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think you're going to see them probably hit the back one, keep the blank alive, keep the deuce alive. Let's keep it all alive. Oh, okay.
The open side, Brett. Your favorite spot.
Without offending, well, I'm going to offend somebody, but I got to say that the open side call, it seems like a Tier 2 call to me. I don't see a lot of the top teams do that.
Okay. Although it was a few Tier 1 teams we saw do it this week.
When it gets to be the center, they come around top 8, and then they overbury the freeze, you see it all the time still, especially early in the games. This I don't really understand.
Yeah, especially when you're not second shot.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not really changing. They're still going to probably play that double in the middle. I mean, maybe he's trying to open it up, knowing they'll play the double in the middle. Then he'll hit the other one. And so be interested to see what happens here. Putting another one in the rings is not a bad idea. I agree with that.
Yeah, maybe the thought here is that Ryland's never going to be trying to remove that one in the top 12, so you may be able to make it count later.
Maybe. Yeah. I think Ryland's going to switch to a draw here, like that double in the middle. It does have that jam. Maybe that's. I'm going to go with that. He thinks that back red one's helpful for that double. It can only make it one way. If he misses it the other way, it jams. But
yeah,
he made the shot that was called, so it's
for
4 out of 4.
Yep, 4 out of 4, no question.
I think he stayed for second, which
right on the tee line for Magnus's cousin, Bendik Ramsfjell. But the double definitely here for Josh Mattern.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Clean.
Sounds good.
Clean.
Yeah, they like it.
Just clean.
Good, Jay.
Just like that. Nice roll, too.
Great spot.
Really good.
Still drawn. Okay. It's probably has to now.
Now they are shot, as you can see there.
I think without being a total ass, if they'd have hit that back one, this draw would have been a lot easier. Now where that other one is, you're drawing your rocks a lot closer together.
No, I mean that way.
But if they make, is it 3 more perfect shots, 4 more perfect shots, they'll probably get 2.
Yep. 4 more.
Yeah. Don't want to miss any here, neither side. It's crunch time. No more tolerance. Throw that in the garbage. Gotta make every shot.
No pro side. No. Just make it.
Line looks good, but I think we're a little strong here potentially.
Yeah, looks a little hot, and you don't want to set up the double on these yellows. That would be not good.
That was a heads-up sweeping call.
Yep.
And I know this is the automatic call, but if you ever don't roll here, I might throw a draw. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think you can't give up 3 here, right?
No, you can't for sure. He knows it here, and he might. but make a good roll here. Manage it well, good line call. Throw the right weight. Good chance to manipulate this in there. Roll it right to frozen would be tasty. Oh, I think that one did pick.
Trevor Johnson again on this out of the hand.
Ryland's audibling here.
Yeah.
That had to pick. That's not even anywhere near it.
Oh boy.
Somebody just tell him it picked, even if it didn't.
Oh boy.
Not a word spoken.
Frosty out there too. You guys called 11-5 Frosty, I think. Eh?
So Frost, okay.
Yeah. Ramsfjell already lying 2 and throwing. This is getting wild. 2 ends in a row where we're getting action.
So strategy's been perfect now.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what if the other team misses, your strategy tends to look pretty good.
It does, but it's one of the great things about curling is there's so many different ways to play the game.
Yep.
And the right shot's the one you're going to make until you make the right shot, and then they make theirs, and you have no shot. Then that's the only time it becomes the wrong shot.
That's right.
I guess you just got to keep your weight up, maybe. Yeah. That one, the way it curled, like grabbed it, could have, yeah, because that.
5-6. Litt plass. Fart er viktigst. Litt langs. Vi kan vente.
Looks a little strong. It's a race to the top 4-foot around the center guard now, and Magnus knows that, and here it comes. Needs to settle. Needs to settle. Ooh. Oh, anybody want to see something fancy? I do.
Could you get all 3? Is that what you're thinking?
You could.
Click, click, click.
But the just miss goes right between them.
Yeah, you're playing with fire, but you think it's there.
I do. It's still going to be there if you freeze first, though. Like freeze and bump it a little.
The only other shot I see is like something like this. Yeah. And then you're playing really cute.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Look at the wall back there. We've got a full half moon of rocks. Doesn't matter what color they are if they're jammable.
It looks like Ryland's not getting super aggressive. He's not trying to sort of thin up and down. Just a hit and roll in here, I think, Brent.
Now, this is my least. This one doesn't enter my radar to play here, I don't think. I think you play the thin double / triple, or more than likely, I think a lot of teams are playing the outturn follow, freeze. Even if you froze right on it, pretty good. If you bump it to a pocket, really good. This is really good too. It's just I think it's harder to hit and roll a rock into a spot. I don't think it's harder to hit and roll a rock into a spot than it is to draw one, unless they feel really uncomfortable with the ice. This is also where they just flash by a foot.
10-5.
Well, this is more weight than Josh Mattern had for sure, but still not a ton. Ryland's had a tendency to underthrow these. Josh Mattern on it right out of the hand again. The roll is as crucial as the hit here, and like maybe they called a bit of an audible there
and got a really good result.
Yeah, not bad at all.
That just that spot. I guess so. Like I thought
tricky spot there.
Ramsfjell is lying 1 here, but it's a lonely lemon.
I think he was down to start. I think so, but it's still though. Still like 12.
Much trickier deuce though, and I'd be afraid to throw a draw bump. I love the call, but I'd be shocked if this doesn't overcurl.
Yeah, you heard Kleiter say they now think it's the spot, that it wasn't necessarily Josh Mattern's fault, that just that spot's really tricky. Coming off the wall side there, and this isn't a typical bowl style arena. They've got a flat wall right beside this sheet. So that could be causing some of the problems. This is also the sheet we had the leak on, so.
Pierregate.
Yeah.
That seems like a month ago, doesn't it?
It really does. I know, it's hard to imagine.
Last time we were here last year for the Tour Challenge.
Yeah.
This, maybe Magnus will throw a straight one here and get through this kind of, it's a questionable spot, we'll call it that. It's like that; those both took off. But I love the call. If he makes this freeze just a little bumps this behind his other one, I think Ryland's going to turn to say, how do we just give him 2?
So first rock for Magnus Ramsfjell. Down 1, but a chance to set up a crooked number here.
If I'm the sweepers, they have to yell at me pretty loud to get me to get off this one after watching those last 2.
Well, they haven't left it at all, have Sessaker and Ramsfjell, and that's... Ooh, is the double there?
I don't know. That's a weird angle, so I can't tell if it jams on. It looks like it goes
jams all day.
Dead into that one, but how much can you see? So over curl the hair, but pretty good. I mean,
I guess if you throw the double, yeah, exactly. You're getting one out for sure. You heard Josh Mattern say it's worth a try.
The only other shot is the run double. That's hard.
I don't like the run double.
I hate the run double.
Keep that comment down with the sweepers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't say that to my skip.
If these hacks could talk.
Yeah. Don't put that thought in my skip's head. He's taking some ice here again, John. I wonder how much he can see. Like, that's more than half buried, I would think.
Yes, okay.
He just wants to hit a third of a rock. I think if there was no guard and you could pick, you'd hit a third really hard and hope it spins off the back. It looks like it's going dead into it, but we've actually seen them so far this week, they've gone higher than I've expected. I like the call, though. Contact kills one, and need a good throw here, though.
Yeah, final stone for Ryland Kleiter, trying not to give up more than two. Calling for the curl here. You have to make contact. They got it. Now, do they get rid of that other yellow?
He's lying, too.
He's lying, too. What a shot from Ryland Kleiter. Absolutely fantastic. Another look at it here. Does make contact with that red, but it spins far enough to lie, too. That's phenomenal.
I don't think there's even a soft weight double. I mean, this is a forced. So this is a new question in curling since the 5-rock rule. Would we rather be tied without, or do we want to go the Dunstone route and give up a steal of one here and get three coming home? Another question for Matt Pinball Hall, but
yeah, we'll see what Ramsfjell decides here.
There's no shot for two that I see.
It looks like tight ice. He must be trying.
He's going to try this tight little hack weight double. Yikes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's my thought too. I mean, there's a big enough hole there to get up to steal at two, and you lose the game. Almost. All the time.
Yeah, certainly a good majority of the time.
Yeah, down three is not good coming home.
No. 5-rock rule can help you a little bit, but down three doesn't usually. It's usually not one of the ways it does.
And I love trying something here if there's something that's makeable. I hope he proves me wrong. I'd love to see a shot this good. Is the tier 2 guys, are they up for shot of the week for 1,000 for a G-Bird?
I think if you're in here, if you're in the arena, it should count.
I'm voting for this one. I don't know if I get to vote. I used my vote for the Grand Slam karaoke. Mattia Giovanella stole my heart.
Yeah. This captured the hearts and minds of Charlottetown. Does he have it here? He's got one. Can he move the second one far enough?
It's a steal.
One for sure. Yeah. Oh boy. Honestly, that might have been there.
I think
it was really close.
What an effort.
Unbelievable effort.
Just give him a steal of one. I want that action. Yeah, there's a good sign that Matt kicked it, so.
Yeah, steal of one indeed for Team Kleiter. Ramsfjell will be in a 2-point hole. 8th end coming up. Don't go anywhere.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Okay, line's good. This one's in. Line's good. Little wider than we've seen. Little wider than we've seen. There it goes. 14-5. 14-5. I think you can go, Maddie. Yep. Get it there, buddy. Right to the top four. Pull. Great speed. Good spot, Trev.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back. Eighth end here in the men's Tier 2 HearingLife Tour Challenge final. Magnus Ramsfjell, Ryland Kleiter. Really great try from Magnus on his last one, was angling for that shot of the week and the $1,000 reward from the fans, but couldn't quite pull it off. And so it's, the Matt Dunstone program here, going to try to get 2 or 3 here, needs 2 or 3 to make sure he lives to fight another day.
Uh-oh, Gushu.
Yeah, he's in trouble here. I think this is probably game over. That's absolutely game over.
5's enough.
Casual fiver. And Bruce Mowat is your Tier 1 Tour Challenge champion, picking up 5 in the 7th end. 10-3 winners over Brad Gushu. I said it from the start of the week after I saw them play their first 2 games. I said, I think it's Bruce's week, and indeed it is. So their second slam in this calendar year. They won the Canadian Open back in January, and now winning the Tour Challenge here.
I'm sure in his acceptance speech he will credit that time he spent with you in the golf cart at Links at Kilbush Cove.
Right. I mean, I don't want to take full credit, but certainly I think partials do.
Something.
Partial credits do, no question. So I believe that's the 7th slam for Bruce Mowat.
Probably not the last. Might
not be the last this season, I wouldn't even say.
No. He'll be in the mix. We'll give him that. They played exceptionally well, going undefeated in an impossible field, and somebody will beat them eventually, but I don't know when.
So back to our game here. Ryland Kleiter lying 2 early on here.
Oh no, the fans are leaving. That's heartbreaking to me.
That is heartbreaking. Well, Gushu's done. They didn't even know this other game was happening. Some of the fans are just finding out now that there's been another game going on this whole time.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
That hurts me.
Yeah.
I hope somebody makes the best shot of the week and they miss it.
Me too. It's like the people you always see walking out of the hockey rink or the baseball diamond when it's a big lead, and then the one team comes back and you hear it on the radio on the way home. Oh, I had a ticket to that.
I get it. You get to come to the games all the time. Well, we don't. We drove 2 hours and remortgaged our house to come. So get out of the way. Okay, pretty standard start. That one over curled a little. I don't know. Didn't quite get him lined up. Yeah, you're in on it. Look at him giving the thumbs up.
Bruce Mowat giving me the thumbs up from the ice into the broadcast booth. Yeah. We had a good time out on the course there. We shared a golf cart for about 8 holes, and I am taking that thumbs up as recognition that partial credit due to me.
I agree. And Bruce might break Benny's quote. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Bruce Mowat.
What a great
guy.
Serious. Fantastic guy. Yeah. Beloved by fans and curlers alike.
So wants to clean up the front a little bit. This is one of those where, and you never skip, you try and make your shots, but you don't want to look too good too early. If you do, they'll bail and give you a quick deuce maybe, which would be fine. But if you kind of just move stuff around and make a little bit of a mess at the end, old Jean-Michel Menard style. Be interesting to see how both teams play this.
Yeah, certainly set up to go either way here. And that's kind of been the story of the last few ends, Brent, really, in general, and kind of the whole game. It's every end there's been rocks in play and lots going on. And that double will stop.
Corner guard, no hole over there. That's pretty good. And for anybody that's been watching all week, I mean, I think you would agree that you can't tell the difference. If I told you this was a Tier 1 game, you would have no idea that it wasn't. I mean,
no question.
The margin between Tier 1 and Tier 2 now is smaller than it used to be. But the margin between Bruce Mowat and maybe a
these
Tier
teams,
1, Tier 2 is still quite large. But
well, I'll tell you this: 16th is the cutoff for these Grand Slams. Rylan Kleiter's currently 21st, and he's only 30 points back of 16. Right. So it's they're certainly tightly packed, and as you said, made the Saskatchewan final last year, losing to Mike McEwen, who was an eventual Brier finalist, and 4-time Canadian junior champs, Matt Hall, a world junior champ. This is these are good teams, and this is a team we're going to hear from a lot over the next few years, I think. All very young, putting in the time, playing a lot, and they've been great. And Ramsfjell too, as we said, they've been in 7 or 8 slams themselves. 4-time Norwegian champions. There's no slouches out here, that's for sure.
I'm sure they have their focus on making sure they qualify for the Olympics coming up in 2026.
Yeah, no question.
So they did, whether they tricked him or not. I mean, up, or how many rocks been thrown? Yeah, they could have peeled there, but they didn't. And I'm not saying it's wrong. There's no easy double peels, so gonna have a chance here. There's gonna be rocks in play all end by the looks of it. Oh, did he get lucky though?
Oh, wow, yep.
Lucky-ish, because that was going out of the rings.
Yeah, decent plan B.
Want to see a 10 in this spot?
I think so.
Sure. I think 10's easier.
11s can just get a little...
So as an added bonus,
I'll just be good 10.
Our game's on Sportsnet right now.
It is, yes. You can catch the final end if you're sick of listening to us. I would hope you wouldn't be, but...
I would hope. Hope's not a good strategy, though.
Yeah. Never is, yeah. Never worked out well for me. I had a lot of hope in my curling career, I'll tell you that.
I didn't lack hope, folks.
Never lacked hope, no.
This is curling.
This is really curling. Josh Mattern's had a few over curl. You got to get by your own top red here. Oh, boy, another little...
Oh, chipped it buried.
Little luck. Yeah, chipped it buried and got rid of the yellow. So good sweep from Hall and Johnson. Wasn't exactly the way they drew it up, but might be something resembling a better shot than what they had called. Might have moved it a little too far, though, Brent. I think Ramsfjell can freeze it or get at it if he wanted to.
He could make the hit and roll behind the corner. I don't like just bumping it back. I think you either want to hit and roll behind the corner or you want to freeze on it. You bump it back and then you leave a chase, and you're down to 3 rocks. I don't want Team Kleiter to be able to take this one out. Hit and roll behind the corner for second shot and see what they do. He's just going to leave it right in the hole and let them chase it. Don't love that call.
Especially when you push it out the back, too.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Maybe if you just bump that back a little bit so there's a catcher, I could understand it. But yeah, certainly this isn't going to be too difficult for Josh Mattern to get at.
It's been a very no-stress end so far for Kleiter.
Yeah, no kidding. And especially when you're up 2, you're already feeling not too much stress being up 2. And yeah, you're right. I think that's a great way to put it.
Just kind of knows this one again. Should know this spot pretty well now.
Matt Hall trying to bring this one over.
Okay, clean.
I don't think you want to whoa.
Just make sure. Yeah.
I don't think you wanted to roll over there, but not a big deal, but it was really nice to have your rock. That would have made this shot not shot. Because I think it was pretty obvious he was going here next.
6.
This is a huge shot here for Martin Sessaker. Has to get this freeze at least somewhere close.
I trust it. That was nose of the guard. I know. I could see it coming in. I was like, man, it's smooth. It's smooth. Trust it, though. If you get the weight right, it'll go. Yeah, it's throwing.
It's a little tight. Yeah, good look at the release there. It didn't look like a ton of back. Word motion there. Even if this over curls a bit and it's second shot, it's not terrible, but it would be ideal if it's frozen and shot raw. Gotta go for everything here.
Oh boy, can't pull the string there.
Oh no.
They were 2. Just draw top.
I don't know if the lights are out, but they're certainly dimming in Twinkletown.
Yeah. That's just kind of the spot tricked them a bit because they didn't sweep it a ton. I mean, obviously by the hog line they knew what was going on, but it's in a usable spot. Need to be shot rock here behind the guard.
It's there. I think we're like the Indians. I think the speeds are the same.
Like he could hit that yellow one. I think that's a hit and roll for 2 right now. In turn, cross the face with like a normal and firm, and it's very makeable for 2. And that might be his next shot, no matter what you do here.
And if we're dead tee isn't the worst.
He's got a couple of run backs, so that's the saving grace. If we're cheering for the Norwegians.
So where's the ideal spot for this one, Brent?
I think full 4 right behind the center guard. Don't want to show either side. Like if you show one side where he can chase and roll into either one of the side ones to bring that top yellow one into third shot, that wouldn't be good. So dead buried, shot rock, full 4 foot, I think. I don't hate it if it goes to the button, honestly.
Yeah, you did hear Ryland say T-line's not terrible.
Yeah, you don't want it top 8.
Full 4 if you can. Line's good. Top 4.
Yeah,
Line's perfect.
I like it. These guys have not made any mistakes judging. I'm giving that credit too.
Yeah, great sweeping performance. And Mattern was a career third really before, and he still is third, but like in the house their whole junior career. So
this just got really interesting, Johnny. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a double there. Tobias, maybe shot and third shot, and it should be pretty buried.
Just that over curl at the end, eh?
Yeah. Perfect speed and weight. And oh boy. Well, you want to make this double, guys. Not a hit and roll. Just hit. You got to hit a quarter rock, third of a rock. I don't mind you playing it lighter. If it does come up, at least you stay for second. But
you just do the same shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is he playing that double?
You know what? This end just got a lot more stressful for Kleiter. It was inevitable.
Yeah, we were talking about zero stress, but as you and I both know, the game of curling very seldom contains little to no stress.
Never do you look up in this end and say, we're rolling, boys. I don't see anything going wrong here.
Yeah, we're going to kill it.
Like, you missed by nothing there. And you can see the look of concern on Matt Hall's face there if you're watching on Sportsnet.
Well, yeah, you said it before he even threw it, that you kind of had to be dead buried, that the distance didn't necessarily matter.
And that's why if it wasn't going to be, it had to be on the tee line or even back butt.
So a huge shot here for Magnus Ramsfjell, can perhaps find his way back into this 8th end.
Well, it was probably a good
quiet
sign.
weight double through the hole.
Well, it was a good sign. I don't like that sound if I'm Kleiter.
Yeah, no, this sounds real close.
Clean is what you're looking for, and that's a hell of a shot.
Perfectly made by Magnus Ramsfjell, and he is indeed lying 2 and 3. Kleiter is still shot, so that's maybe the one thing working in Kleiter's favor, but you put this in the wrong spot and you bring the old Matt Dunstone 3 into play here.
Yeah. So he's going to have a shot to tie, guaranteed, wherever this goes. And if he makes a mistake, this one can over curl. This one can't under curl. And it can't be, I'm going to say it can't be just short of the 4 foot, or else you're going to see that Glenn Howard against Joel Jordison shot. Sorry, Joel.
But you had a good seat for that one.
He was a good sport about that. That was one of those where when they threw a guard on a guard and we all ran to this other one, he's like, oh no. Not a good feeling. We've all been there.
So final stone for Ryland Kleiter. Spot in the WFG Masters on the line.
Didn't take much time in the hack there. They got lots of time, but obviously feeling comfortable and confident.
Just wants top 4 T-line here behind that guard to lie to. This looks pretty close.
Needs to stop curling, I think.
That's dead even, so
good shot. No fancy shots for more than 2, I don't think.
Two's not easy here, Brent. You got to get rid of both of these reds.
So if there's a shot for 2, there's a shot for 3 is kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And what is that? Are you running in the corner?
Left one, the tick and across. I don't know if there's enough angle with the left side corner.
That's what he sees. I mean, they are almost dead flat.
I don't know why I thought they were second shot. That was not right. I don't see anything else.
Yeah.
There's just, it has to be coming from this side to get them both. This has to be smoking.
Yeah, you got to throw a gun here, and you got to hit almost 3/4 of that redstone on the button to make this. I would say this would be a shot of the week contender if Magnus Ramsfjell makes it. Final stone here in the 8th. Tier 2 championship on the line.
For the win.
Sounds close. Sounds close. Did he move it far enough?
He made it for 2, I think.
Did he move it far enough? I think he did.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, let's look at this replay right across, and he does, I think, move it far enough, Brent. What a shot from Magnus Ramsfjell. We weren't even sure it was there.
Hope all those people who left earlier in their car listening to your call right now.
Yeah, no kidding. One of the best shots we've seen here all week. We're going to an extra. Don't go anywhere.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
And it's the choice of champions.
I mean, that's all we're... Yeah, if you bring it any deeper, he has it maybe for 3 the other way. That was his toughest shot by a mile. Nice shot. Nice shot. That was a beauty.
Thank you.
Okay, stay.
Litt langt, forsiktig. Bare fart. Litt plass. 3. Pass på der ute. Den er ute. Bendik.
Well, we are still catching our breath here, Brent, after that phenomenal shot from Magnus Ramsfjell. Looked like perhaps he had no chance to make that extremely flat double. Needed to angle it across the house, push the rock just far enough for 2, and now we find ourselves in an extra.
Hard to say that Kleiter's lucky he didn't lose it there, but I think maybe an 1/8 of an inch higher on the first, and maybe even less than that, and that moves it another half a rock, and it would have been 3, and I think the Norwegian brooms would have launched through the roof. That's got to be the shot of the week. But Kleiter's still in control. I've got to circle the wagons, and like all
It'll come down.
good curlers came down and said, great shot, Magnus.
Okay, it's not moving a lot still.
Yeah, he told him twice, actually. He said, great shot. Magnus said, thank you. And then he said, that was a beauty.
Yeah, nice shot. Don't ever do it again.
Yeah, please. Thank you. I already have my plane. I had my plane tickets booked for Guelph. It's going to be hard to get on the phone with WestJet. Cancel those. It's a 4-hour wait, they're telling me.
So we need double centers. And we get bonus action, which is always good in a game like this.
Yeah, it's been a great game, really, back and forth. And we have seen, too, a lot of... We've seen a lot of close ends and a lot of ends where there could have been big scores and there wasn't due to some great shot making from the 2 skips. So
I would say this has had the perfect amount of makes versus small misses. Yeah. Every now and again there's a miss. You don't want to see guys struggle, but misses create scary situations and opportunities. And you know, a lot of the best played games now are like 3-2.
Line good.
I don't know. It's still fun to watch all the doubles being made, but it's just not as fun to call or watch to me.
Line's good.
No, you're good. You're good. It's all you.
Room.
Top 4. Weight's really good.
Yep. Whoa. Sorry, whoa.
Do it.
Whoa.
trying to get 2 in here to make it something they have to deal with at least. So Trevor Johnson makes his first one perfect and second one also perfect. That's
really good.
Put him.
Really good pair, and you know, Brent, it can sometimes be hard to regroup. You know, you think Rylan Kleiter felt like he put his last one in a perfect spot, and turns out it just needed to be about an inch deeper, and then I don't know if Magnus has any shot at all. So, you know, you think, hey, we did really good. Magnus makes an absolute banger, and now you got to regroup, and a really good way to do that is have your lead make both his shots. Just say, hey, boys, we're still in this. We're dialed in. We got the hammer. Still favors us. Let's finish the job.
And if you're Trevor, he did have a great game, but finishing like that, assuming we're not going double extra, but don't assume anything.
Yep.
You're feeling really good. Like that's exactly what your team needed from you. Decent shot there. Would have been nice to be a hair heavier and get it to the back of the button. You're going to get a couple free peels here. Don't think you need to take on the double peel here. Make them throw a couple of good high guards. Can't make them any better than that. So just the single peel, I would think here.
Clean. Good knot.
Nothing to it.
Yeah, that's easy there for Matt Hall. He's made a lot of those in his time. On most of his teams, he's since he moved on from skipping in juniors, he's been a second most of the way along. So very used to making those peels. Bruce Mowett's been out here for the last 30 minutes, patiently waiting to collect the trophy for his victory.
Guys, what's taking you so long? I only needed 7 ends to beat like one of the best teams in the world.
Well, we talked about it off the top. These two teams are as closely matched as you can be. They're number 21 and 22 in the world coming into this event and separated by less than 5 ranking points.
Bendik with a good guard. Those are not easy and not something seconds throw very many of. I used to hate that shot.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. And high guard too, right? It's, you know, maybe you throw some guards as a second, but not often a 1 guard.
No. And then the absolute terrible was I'm already retired, so the weaknesses don't matter. But you get me on like ice that's 15-5 and ask me for a high guard, it's like no.
My core is not strong enough to fall out of the hack that slowly.
Yeah, not feeling the curveball right now. Better stick to something else.
Okay, so we're seeing Ramsfjell take a timeout here. They didn't take one throughout the entirety of the game.
Interesting time for it. I think it's the high guard again, isn't it?
I guess that's what they'd be talking about, right, Brent? Do we want to go one more, talking about exactly when they start attacking the rocks in the house? Because it is Kleiter line 2, so they are going to have to get in there eventually. We'll listen in, see if our Norwegian gets any better.
Jeg tenkte alltid at vi skulle tappe litt på disse på noen måte. Få den liksom sånn eller via den og åpne litt sånn. Hvis vi ikke åpner knappen kan vi alltid dra her, og hvis begge disse er I spill så har man jammer overalt. Det var liksom...
Could bump that red one, I guess, on the nose, stay there, and then have 2 ways to get shot rock, but you're going to see that center guard come back into your top 8 one then, and I don't think you want to give them that chance yet. Eventually they're going to have it, but I think this is 1 shot too early at least. Probably 1 shot too early. But he's 2 shots away from getting shot, so can't wait too much longer. I wouldn't totally disagree if he gave it a go now.
Spiller du den nå? Spiller du backline på den på neste? Ja.
So I think they've decided. I'll have to tell you I know what they decided, but I don't. They've decided on an intern. Right-handed intern. It looks like similar ice to the guard. That's probably the similar ice they need to make that other shot they're trying too, so.
Bare fart! Lik linje som Bendik, litt plass.
Doesn't look like it's sliding too hard.
No, I think it's just a guard here.
Fin linje. Fin linje. Over og dør litt tight, faktisk.
Needs to sit down. Needs to curl a bit and sit down. Line's perfect, actually. Good shot. That's not an easy shot. I mean, it looks simple,
Could try
but
it this way.
trust me when I tell you, it's not.
Sounds like Ryland's
Or just the one.
entertaining, perhaps, playing the triple, but I think they're just going to go with the single again here.
This is the hardest double peel chance they've had, so
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if now he decides.
Yeah. I think they're just picking off the single one. And as Josh Mattern does that, a reminder, we will be back in just a little less than 2 hours' time with the women's Tier 2 final.
Nice game.
It's going to be the local Atlantic Canada favorites, Christina Black out of Nova Scotia, facing off against Japan's Sayaka Yoshimura. We'll have all the coverage for you of that game on Home Team Live. And, of course, in the women's Tier 1 final, it's an all-Canadian battle. Rachel Homan facing off against Carrie Anerson. And we'll have that game for you, too, as will Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
He's doing it now.
So I think he's trying just kind of the nose bump here. Not too concerned about obviously getting shot rock yet, because he can't. A little high, and maybe spread that one behind the button. That is really good.
Yeah, very nice from Martin Sessaker.
Couldn't be any better, and he knows it. Back to the logging dock after this, and I'm going to tell the boys. He looks like a good dude. He looks like a guy you'd want to have a beer with and tell some stories. He'd be a good couch guest, let's say that.
Yep,
I don't know how good his English is because my Norwegian sucks, so we'll have to see, but he would take up too much space with those wide shoulders, though.
Yeah, no kidding. Not a small man, absolutely shredded.
Yeah. Should give us room to like kind of blast.
Yeah, you should be able to blow it up no matter.
Both he has to have an angle.
Yeah. And you free up the center line.
That shot's good enough to put a little fear in Team Kleiter.
But just if he does tap it perfect, then I blast and it kind of stays here, right?
Yeah.
Taps it perfect. Are you trying to like nose it, lose both reds, and sit here? I don't know.
Well, they're gonna. Oh yeah, because there won't be a guard there.
I don't see very many options that don't involve hitting that guard.
I think we just peel. Because I'm seeing all his taps. If he taps it perfect, his shooter's going here. Or if he taps it on the nose, we're going to have a double here.
If he taps it perfect, he's not going to be shot, right?
Yes,
So then we
agreed.
could probably play like some sort of double up here, and he has to come down and tap.
Yeah.
And
If he does guard, you just have that.
I think it's just the peel.
I think it is just the peel. And then they're going to try and make that perfect tap, and I think they're right. They'll have a double or something, but if they make two perfect shots, could get dicey, but they're super precise, too. It's not like you're counting on your opponent to miss, but I don't see anything you could take on here that really helps you a whole bunch other than a single peel. Whatever's going to happen in the house, you want it to be open, wide open if you're Kleiter, so let's hit the guard. Both teams, when you get to the extra end, the clock resets. I think you get 5 minutes and a timeout. Doesn't matter if you have timeouts left, you can't carry those over.
Good, Jay.
Peel made from Josh Mattern, and yeah, neither team in time crisis here. Ramsfjell has just under 4 minutes to play his two shots, and obviously used his timeout already, but certainly 4 minutes more than enough to play two shots. And then Ryland Kleiter sitting at about 2 minutes, but he does still have his timeout left, so they're also not going to be too fussed about that clock.
So needs to get something into that pocket. Does it matter which one you tap in there? You tap the left one, which is probably... I think if you knew you were going to make it, you'd tap the left one as we're looking at it now, because it's a little bit easier to maybe play soft weight and hit the other one a little bit hot, a little bit thicker and stay closer. You want yours ended up kind of in a line. Other options, I guess you could hit one of those. Don't think that's a good option. You're going to leave a double or a triple, so let's move on from that idea. Too late to guard. I guess you could guard, and you have him centerline guard, you got him on both sides, and then he peels, and then you make the run, like, you hit the right one high into the pocket and leave a tough chase or a nose double. Maybe that has some reasonableness to it, if that's a word.
Reasonability.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I think reasonableness is also a word.
It is now.
Yeah. Anything's a word if you say it into a microphone, I think.
We're talking about curling, so we have our own lingo.
That's also true, yeah.
So you already heard Ryland say what he's going to do. He makes this perfect. He's going to make a double on the top two and then hope for a small mistake, as he has to move it on his last one. So
first stone for Magnus Ramsfjell here in the extra. Tier 2 title and a berth in the WFG Masters on the line.
I think they're going to go for the line, but it looks a little strong potentially.
It's not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Can he come straight through the middle, but that just jams. Oh, there might be a hole.
Yeah, I think you can get it through.
You don't want to just miss. If you're going to just miss, you want to hit the higher one and make the top double.
Even if it ticks.
That just a shade lighter there, and that would have been really good.
This just jams and leaves them there. Okay.
You can't hit that one.
Yeah, I don't think you can get to the nose of it to punch it through, and it'd be risky even if you could.
No, okay, less than 10.
And the other thing is if you do, and it goes tick-ticking through, and you leave a nose hit for Magnus, how do you get in there? If there's a nose hit followed by a nose hit, how do you get a red one into the forefoot?
Yeah.
Let's find out. That's the beauty of this game. It's going to happen right before our eyes.
Exactly. You can debate it for only as long as it takes them to throw it. So this is a big shot here for Ryland Kleiter. It's got to be quite precise, as you can see.
That's a small hole.
It's small, and there's lots of ways it could go wrong. First rock here for Ryland Kleiter, and again, he's not throwing a missile. Yeah. I'd be inclined to whip this.
Okay.
Curl! Ball close! Clean!
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, they seem to like it. Got to get through that hole. How about that? What a shot from Ryland Kleiter.
Super important that those red ones stayed out counting the top one, because you can see what I was saying, that nose now would leave a wall of yellow and no way in. Still think that's all they can do. If he knows that, it's not going to be a simple double. I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah.
That's why you play less weight. If you listen to us there, he kills his reds and they knows it, and it's like, oh, we just lost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're right.
Again,
it just made it a much harder shot. It was the right weight to call. Just made it a harder shot, but Ryland Kleiter, no mistake, right through the hole.
I know. That's the thing. You might have
Your nose hit, you'd think, okay, we'll just make the tick-tick double, but both of them go towards those reds. Your shooter's never going to stay.
Yeah.
Two more makes of great shots would be the way this game should end.
Yeah, it certainly deserved it. Lots of fine shot making from both teams, and this will be the last shot we see Magnus Ramsfjell throw. Trying to nose this red and force Ryland Kleiter to have to make a shot for the win.
Sounds close.
Yeah, Martin Sessaker's been on this out of the hand. Got to get by that top yellow. And they do right there.
So you can see the problem. If those nose triples close.
Yeah.
Hair high.
So another look on the replay. Does get through the hole. Got flirted with that top yellow, but a good sweep from Sessaker. And yeah, I think the triple's there. I don't know if that's the easiest shot. Would you ever just hit and roll in off of your back red? Oh, is he saying they're drawing?
No.
You guys good with the draw, or do you think that double
Oh.
Is this cute or no? Probably not, eh?
That triple looks...
Is there just a dead nose triple?
Yeah, anywhere high almost.
It is really close, actually.
Yeah.
The other option is if you want, you can just hit and roll.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't be drawing, I'll tell you that for free.
No chance.
Is good.
Well, we're both sweepers, and I want no part of sweeping that thing.
True.
Out in the weeds?
Out in the weeds, got to get around a wall of three. I'd be playing the hit and roll in off my red or the triple.
Yeah, I think it's going that way. If
Okay.
you want
Did
to
they call the timeout yet?
This is-
They
yeah.
did, yes.
This is
Oh, there's Dean.
not bad either. Whatever you see, Ryan.
I just want to make sure that this is touching it.
The triples don't. I don't know if it.
Is
It
that
gets close
touching it
to
for
the
sure?
6 if you hit right where the A is. I don't think you can be high, Rylan, though. Yeah,
Like on the
right
outside
there,
or
just
not?
on the A. You
Well, I
have to
don't
be.
think you can change
think
the
you need
angle.
nose.
They're like 3 inches apart.
Yeah, I think you just, if you make contact, I don't think you're ever jamming.
I think it goes.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to tell from the camera.
Yeah, that actually is. If you throw the intern, this should go low too.
Crotch is probably the toughest shot, though, right? You got to hit them at the same time.
Well,
Well, they're
you got
both
some
heading
room.
towards the red.
Yeah.
And any contact you lose
Okay.
unless your shooter stays right there, which is unlikely.
I think it's the triple over that or this hit and roll.
I agree. Those are the 2 shots I see.
Do you guys know the speed for this?
Problem with that hit and roll is that's where they had to take off a couple times, so I don't like that.
Oh, Ryland seems to really want to throw the draw here.
I'm seeing like a high 13s. High 13, 14.
Oh my goodness, I think he's going to draw, Brent.
I think so. I think it'll be great. Like, you think it's going to be
A little sticky.
a little sticky for sure.
Oh man,
near that
he
triple.
doesn't even know the time of it. Like he's saying, what's the time even on this draw?
Best guess, because he has to go out way wide. I think this is likely going to be... I don't think you want it to start with a 14.
Oh.
I would guess like 13, 3 or 4, but it is a guess. But here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Ryland Kleiter. Needs a piece of the forefoot.
Yep.
He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No,
Oh,
they
line's
like
good.
line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleiter. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
And I'm happy about that.
Unbelievable.
Kudos to Team
You hit
Kleiter.
for show and you draw for dough, they say. And
Usually
Ryland
not in the
Kleiter.
snowbank, though.
Yeah, no kidding. Ryland Kleiter, what a draw. The Tier 2 Tour Challenge winners, Team Ryland Kleiter. We'll see them in January at the WFG Masters. What a game. What a shot. Congratulations to the team from Saskatoon. The crowd loves it. We love it. We'll see you back here in an hour and a half with the women's final for Brent Lang and everyone here at Home Team Live. Thanks for tuning in.